Welcome back to Sky Sports News, where we've got some big breaking news tonight regarding the ownership of Chelsea. You can see our chief reporter, Kaveh Solokol, has joined us now. Kaveh, what can you tell us?
Well, if you remember, just over 2 years ago, Chelsea were taken over by a consortium led by a group of US businessmen. And the two sort of public faces of the takeover were Todd Boehly and also Behdad Eghbali. Now, Behdad Eghbali is from a company called Clearlake Capital, and they actually own 62% of the shares. Now, tonight, we can tell you that Clearlake Capital are open to buying out Todd Boehly, but they will not be selling any of their own shares in Chelsea. Now, Clearlake are totally committed to Chelsea. They remain totally committed, and they won't sell any of their 62% shareholding. Now, this has all come about this evening because a report has appeared on Bloomberg, a very well-respected financial news service. And according to this report, the different investors in Chelsea are looking at buying each other out. Now, I can say that Todd Boehly is considering selling his shares in Chelsea, but Clearlake Capital are not interested at all in selling their shares under any circumstances. And according to Bloomberg, the relationship between the co-owners, Eghbali and Todd Boehly, has deteriorated over the past few months, which has led to this situation where Boehly is considering selling his shares. Now, my information is that the relationship between Todd Boehly and Behdad Eghbali can be described as professional. I think when you put a consortium together to buy a club as big as Chelsea or to buy any business, that consortium is always going to be a marriage of convenience. And obviously this evening, it looks and it sounds like that marriage is on the rocks.
Well, if a deal as big as this can get done, how do you expect it to play out?
Well, look, the only way I can see it happening, if any deal is done at all, is if Clearlake Capital buy out some of the other investors. And you have to remember, I know it's a sort of complicated picture, but Clearlake Capital owns 62% of the shares. So they are the majority owners of Chelsea. They have no interest in selling Chelsea whatsoever. So going forward, the majority owners of Chelsea will remain Clearlake Capital, and it will remain that Behdad Eghbali is really the most powerful person at the club at the moment. He is the one who is driving the strategy at the club. And it looks like from the outside that Todd Boehly has been sidelined. Now, the reason I say the relationships between them are professional, I understand, I'm aware of reports that the two men may have fallen out, that their relationship has deteriorated. But you also have to remember that, for instance, before the first game of the season, Chelsea, Manchester City at Stamford Bridge, Todd Boehly was actually in Clearlake Capital's box with Behdad Eghbali. So it's important to remember that as well. But obviously, it has become apparent to anybody who follows Chelsea, anybody who reports on Chelsea, that this kind of uneasy relationship between Todd Boehly and Behdad Eghbali was something that was going to have to be sorted out. And if it is sorted out by Clearlake Capital buying out the other investors, then it is something that Clearlake Capital are willing to do. They're willing to have that discussion.
Okay, now we've seen plenty of transfer window drama from Chelsea. Chief executive leaving this week. What do you think the fans will be thinking? Is this more disruption for the club at the moment?
Well, I think a lot of Chelsea fans think, why are we in the news the whole time? Every day something is happening at Chelsea. Every day people are talking about Chelsea. We just want to get back to being just a football club. We want to be on the back pages for what we're doing on the pitch. We don't want to be in the business pages. We don't want to be on the gossip pages. We don't want to be on the front pages. We want to be a football club again. And I think what Clearlake would say is what we're trying to do is put the right structure in place at the club. And I think the reason why they feel they're committed to the club going forward is because they believe that they have put that structure in place. But of course, I totally understand what Chelsea fans are saying. I understand their frustrations because Chelsea seem to be in the news a lot these days, and it's not just for football reasons. As you mentioned, it's to do with their transfer strategy, it's to do with recruitment, it's about to do with what's happening with their head coach, what's happening with players who are not training with the first team. There always seems to be something going on. I think what Clearlake would say is we bought a club that needed to be modernised, and that is exactly what we're trying to do. Yes, there will be ups and downs along the way, but obviously this is another distraction. But I think the important thing is that Clearlake appear to be saying we can sort this out by sitting down and talking to any investors who want to sell their shares. I think the picture would be even more uncertain if we had a situation where the majority shareholder was looking at selling their shares. But I have to reiterate, that is not what is happening at all, because the majority shareholder is still fully committed to Chelsea, and they see this as a long-term investment. You know, they're not in it for the short haul. They don't think there's going to be a quick fix. They knew when they bought the club that a lot of things needed to be modernised and they needed to change a lot of things. And I think they themselves would put their hands up and say, yes, we have made mistakes along the way. Yes, of course, we regret some of the decisions we've made. We regret some of the things we've done. But we're learning from those mistakes very, very quickly. And we feel now we have the right structure in place, we have the right head coach in place, and we have the right squad in place to go forward. But obviously, this whole ownership situation needs to be sorted out pretty quickly.
So much going on at the club. I'd be interested to know what Chelsea have had to say themselves about all of this. Have they commented?
Well, Chelsea have not commented themselves. Obviously, we've contacted Chelsea for comment. I don't think it's something that they would comment on. It was not something that they would want to talk about in public. Obviously, this is an issue that needs to be sorted out between the investors. And the investors, 62% Clearlake Capital. Then Todd Boehly leads another group of investors who include Mark Walter and the Swiss businessman Hans-Jörg Wyss. And between them, they own, I think, about 38% of the shares. But I don't know what you're thinking tonight. If you're a Chelsea supporter, you're thinking more uncertainty, more hours spent on social media trying to work out what's going on, more hours spent reading newspaper websites, watching Sky Sports News, trying to work out what's going on. We want to return to being a football club. Perhaps the solution to all this is for Clearlake Capital to sit down and buy the 38% of the shares in the club that they don't own. And then once and for all, we would know that Clearlake own 100% of Chelsea, and we would know who is in total charge going forward.
Okay.
Oh, Kaveh Solhekol, for the moment, thank you very much. I'm sure this is a story that we will continue to be updated on throughout the coming days and weeks. Thank you.
Speaking of national team exiles, England get their campaign underway tomorrow when it comes to Nations League action.
I was thinking about sports science affecting your career, Shane.
Let's get word from England's interim manager Lee Carsley on Ben White's situation right now.
In previous camps, Ben White made himself unavailable to Gareth Southgate and the previous manager and coaches. Could you just explain to us what the situation is for him from your point of view?
Yeah, so as far as I'm aware with that, he wasn't available for selection. Nothing's changed in my 2 weeks of being here, so that's sort of where I'm at with it. Like yourself. I've seen in some of the press reports that he was open to, but that it's gone no further. So as far as I'm aware, there's been no change there.
And then will that be a conversation you have in the future if he obviously continues to play well?
Well, he's always played well, but he made himself unavailable for selection. So I'm not sure where we go with that.
Frank, what do you make of this situation?
Same thing. I mean, Ben White is going to regret it at some point, and on top of it, Steve Holland is not even in the squad anymore. So why the reason to say no? I don't want to play anymore. I mean, come on, Ben White. You know, it's England. It's the national team. It's something that every kids have dreamt about, and you refuse to even say what you want to do, and what the reason are. Because now there is no, excuses, let's say, or reasons why you don't want to play for your national team. And again, it's sad for you. It's sad for the country, but nobody is, we can get substitute everybody. But for you, just for you, as a football player, you have to think about you and your career and what is the best for your career. And yes, it's good to play for Arsenal. Yes, Arsenal is a big club, but you have the chance to play for the Three Lions. You are missing a big opportunity to enjoy your life as a football player.
Is Ben White a good enough player? And has he had a good enough career to feel like he has the leverage to say, England, not good enough for me? Come on. At some point, you have to take a good look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm playing well. I have warranted the attention from the national team coach. Now, I'm excited about being part of the national team. And it's England. It's England. And you are now turning your back on your own national team. And the reasons are beyond me, because as Frank just said, the reason as to why you didn't make yourself available was for a coach that is not even a part of the picture any longer. But for a player like Ben White, I understand, listen, Thibaut Courtois can have his ego because there is room there as to why he has an ego. Because he has achieved things that I suppose, not that I agree, but at least he could make the argument of, hey, look, I'm the best goalkeeper in the world. Ben White is not the best right back in the world. Ben White, at this point, is in a place in which he should be thankful that he gets the opportunity to go to the national team. Instead, he thinks he's in a position in which he can say, no, national team, not for me. Nonsense.
Shaka?
Listen, I'm in agreement. I think Ben White, I don't see any difference between Ben White and Thibaut Courtois in that a player can make whatever decision he wants about his international football, his international career. That's entirely up to him. But at no point does the national team have to bend their rules. At no point do they have to succumb to your requests. If you make that decision, that's on you. Just don't expect anybody, regardless, again, to the point, regardless of whether you're Ben White and you're deserving to being called the best right back in the world or not, or you're Thibaut Courtois, who is deserving of being called the best goalkeeper in the world or not. It does not matter. You're standing in the game. If that's your decision, stand by it. If you want to reverse it, then you have to make amends. That's not on the national team to do for you.
But can I just say, there's a lack of appreciation. Sorry, Hurt. There's a lack of appreciation of the importance of what being a national team player does for you and your profile as a player, and what it does for you as you get done playing, because everybody thinks that they're going to play forever, and let me tell you, they're not. Yeah. As you walk away from the game, the fact that you can call yourself a national team player, and not just a guy that had a cup of coffee with the national team, but a guy who actually stuck around with the national team for years upon years, gives your career a completely different profile. And I don't think these players have the big picture in mind to understand national team has tremendous important value that is not defined by a contract. It's value that is defined by what you did and you to deserve being called one of the best 22 players in your country.
To that point, Ali, and I find this is something I see with English players more than anybody else. And now, I grew up wanting to represent Trinidad and Tobago. International football had a certain standing in my mind as to what it meant for me as a football player. But the number of English players I've heard over the years say they feel more passionate about their club team, especially those players who represented clubs that the city that they were from. The number of English players I have heard say they feel more passionate about their club team than their national team always amazed me, because granted, listen, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago playing club football in England. So I would never have that affinity with any football club. But I just couldn't understand it. I'm not sure if Frank felt the same playing in France. I couldn't tell you.
Frank?
No, that's impossible for me to think that playing for any club in the world would be enough for me if I don't play for my national country. That's the holy grail for a grail. It's something important for us, and Ali expressed it very, very well. You know, playing for your club team, it's good. Winning the Champions League is even very good. But he's not comparing to winning a World Cup or having the possibility to win a World Cup. Only play a World Cup like Xhaka did with Trinidad and Tobago, and that's something special. And you have to put your national team above everything. As Ali said, it's not even a contract. It's just something you want to because it's your dream. As a young guy, when we were very young, we dreamt about playing for the national team. And that's only something that you can get because you were a good player with your club.
This to me is so much more different than Thibaut Courtois. I somewhat understand Thibaut Courtois because his rift is with the head coach, the main man. Ben White has a rift with the assistant coach. I've never heard of
the former assistant coach.
The former assistant coach. You're absolutely right, which is absolutely rude. It's a past regime, and yet you are so stubborn that you say, nah. They got to come find me.
Yeah.
That to me just blows my mind. It's the national team. Nobody is indispensable. The national team moves on. And Ali's right. Ben White should be very fortunate to feel himself part of that.
Right. Even during an international break, Chelsea just can't keep themselves out of the headlines with reports of a rift between co-owners Bedad Eghbali and Todd Boehly surfacing. We have our chief reporter, as you can see, Clearlake Solokol, here on set with us to discuss the latest developments at the bridge. Goodness me. So, go on then. What's happened? Why are Chelsea in the news?
Well, I mean, there's always something happening at Chelsea on and off the pitch. The background to all this is that obviously, for 20 years, Chelsea were owned by Roman Abramovich. He effectively ran it as a family business. Everybody knew that he was in charge. And although his ownership of the club was very controversial, as far as Chelsea fans were concerned, the vast majority of them loved Roman Abramovich, and the club won lots of trophies. Now, just over 2 years ago, we had the takeover. Roman Abramovich was forced to sell Chelsea because he was sanctioned by the UK government. And if you remember, the face of the winning consortium that came out on top in that takeover battle was Todd Boehly, this American businessman who put together this consortium. He became the new owner of Chelsea. But of course, he was not 100% the owner of Chelsea because there was a consortium, and 62% of the money for the takeover was provided by a private equity firm in America called Clearlake Capital. And the face of Clearlake in English football has been Behdad Eghbali. Now, to begin with, Todd Boehly, even though he only owns around 13% of the shares in Chelsea, he was the face of the takeover. Yeah. He was the sporting director. If you remember 2 summers ago, that famous transfer window when Chelsea seemed to be buying so many players, he was the one calling the shots. He was the one running the club. Now, you have to say that initially that first year of American ownership, things didn't go particularly well. Chelsea were in the headlines again for lots of different reasons. So last year, Todd Boehly stepped back from being the main man, and Behdad Eghbali and Clearlake Capital took over the running of the club. And that's why we've seen so many changes, new head coaches come in, this controversial strategy in the transfer market, buying young players, giving them long-term contracts. That's all been Clearlake. And effectively, Todd Boehly has been sidelined. Now, last night, we had this report from Bloomberg, a very well-respected financial news service. And what they reported is that both sides, so Eghbali and Todd Boehly, were considering buying each other out. And the relationship between the two men had deteriorated, and they no longer saw eye to eye on quite a few things like recruitment, why the team was underperforming, why more progress hadn't been made on redeveloping Stamford Bridge. And for that reason, it looked like one of them was going to leave. Were either side perhaps considering selling up? Would we see a split between Behdad Eghbali on the one hand and Todd Boehly on the other? Now, the information we have is that Behdad Eghbali and Clearlake Capital, who own 61.5% of Chelsea, have absolutely no intention of selling up. They are not going anywhere. They are totally committed to Chelsea. So if one person is going to leave, from their perspective, it would be Todd Boehly. And if Todd Boehly wants to sell his shares, or if anybody else wants to sell their shares in Chelsea, then Behdad Eghbali and Clearlake Capital are willing to sit down and talk with them and potentially come to a deal whereby they would buy even more shares in Chelsea than they already own.
Oh, okay.
I hope I explained that.
Yeah.
It's quite a complicated story for a Saturday morning, but did my best.
No, it's very understandable. So there has, what it looks like, been a fallout. If they can't work things out and shares need to be sold, if Todd Boehly leaves, does that seem like something that would happen more realistically over Eghbali, or what sort of does happen next?
I think if one party is going to leave,
It's going to be him.
It's going to be more likely that it's Todd Boehly.
Yeah.
Although, having said that, our information is that Todd Boehly is still committed to Chelsea. The key question is, have the two men fallen out? Now, my reading of the situation is that they were never best friends.
Okay.
They weren't best buddies. They were very, very successful businessmen who came together to buy Chelsea. And I think their relationship, from the few times that I've met both of them together, what came across is that they were very businesslike. I didn't get the sense that they were hanging out with each other and going out every night to dinner together. They were in this for business. Now, obviously, they're both very successful, very rich people who've made a lot of money in business, and they've got their own ideas about how businesses should be run. I think I wouldn't stick my neck out and say that, they've fallen out or they're enemies, but my reading of the situation is that their relationship is professional and businesslike and cordial, but no more than that.
Right.
3-1 it would finish after France took that very early lead through Barcola, but Italy managing to get 3 back. And the result forces France to the bottom of the table. Italy moved top after this match day. Antoine Griezmann had this to say after the game: they were better than us, we weren't good at pressing nor defensively. I can't explain this. We started well with a lot of intent, but tactics-wise, we struggled. We need to review this. Well, let's welcome in a Frenchman, shall we? Frank Leboeuf is with us. Frank, I guess Italians do it better.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And congratulations to them. And when Griezmann said that they started well for 20 seconds. And then after, it was all Italy for me. They played better, there are more chances, they were more accurate, they were more patient sometimes. France tried to have the position of the ball, to be high on the field. But at the end of the day, except maybe one chance from Mbappé in the first half, they didn't create it more. And it wasn't enough. It wasn't bad. It was tactically not very well thought. And again, the Italians, they did what they had to do. I thought at first, really thought that Italy wasn't good enough the first half, and I said at some point France was going to go to another level, but it never happened. And Italy created the opportunities to a fantastic goal with Di Marco, and then after it went very well for them, and they did what they had to do. There is nothing much to say, but the fact that so many personals, individuals from France weren't there. Griezmann the first, we didn't see Mbappé that much. We have to talk about the Saliba defensive aspect in the third goal. But overall, I didn't see a good French team. Maybe Mike Maignan, and I want to talk to that about that because he's conceded 3 goals, but he did his best. And because Xhaka is there, I want to be nice to the Union. But otherwise, I don't see any players who satisfied me. Olise did well at the beginning, and Mbakola as well, but little by little they disappeared.
Frank, we didn't see the best France in the Euros either. Is everything okay with them?
With who?
With France.
Oh, you know what? I don't know what's going on with France, and we only talk about football, please. But it's not. But it's not going well. People are questioning that whether Didier Deschamps should have stayed or not. I don't have a clear idea about that, but I don't know. I'm not sure that was the best team that Didier Deschamps could have put on. He pleased some players, but players are somehow not ready yet, and it wasn't the most effective French team that we saw so far. So yeah, nothing goes wrong. Let's say that it's a National League competition, which nobody cares, in fact. But when you play for your country, you always have to give your best.
It didn't go the way it looked like it was going to go after that early goal, did it, Ale?
No, and Frank just mentioned it. France were good for, a minute. And then after that, what was really surprising, and besides all the things that Frank has already mentioned, is how many times you saw Italy get out in transition where they win the ball in a good area, and now it's 3 against 2. 4 against 3, 5 against 4. It always seemed like Italy were in an advantageous position going on the attack, that there was no structure to France, that there was no organization to France, and that in fact, if Italy were able to complete one final pass more often than they did, or more consistently than they did, or making the right choice, this result actually would be worse. Italy had so many opportunities to get out in transition, to get out into open spaces, and France were nowhere to be found. That was surprising, because if there's one thing that you associate with Didier Deschamps, besides the fact that France has been very successful under him, is that this team has had structure. This team defensively has had discipline. There was very little discipline to this group, and through the midfield, a whole lot of space, a whole lot of ground to cover for N'Golo Kante, not a whole lot of help coming from anywhere else, and turnovers in bad areas. The organization wasn't there, the structure wasn't there, and of course, the result shows it.
Surprised with what you saw, Xhaka?
Absolutely. Listen, I think just kind of continuing, and as you mentioned from the Euros from France, I expected so much more. I expected, especially on home turf, a better effort. And the way that the French gave the ball away cheaply under the Italian press really surprised me. And you can't help but wonder, and while, yes, to Frank's point, this is only a UEFA Nations League game, so you have to take that into some context, but on the back of what we saw this summer, you just wonder if all good things come to an end, and if this is maybe time for Didier Deschamps and a change. Now, while I say that, you also have to remind yourself that this is still a Didier Deschamps France that lost in a World Cup final on penalties. So you have to kind of weigh those successes with maybe where we are right now and just wonder what's the next step for the French national team.
Because there's so much star power in this side, Herc.
Easily. It's easily one of the top player pools in the world, if not the top for my money, with all the talent they have. But Jacques right, there are cycles to everything, and this ridiculous French team that's been in so many finals throughout the years and playing in a very pragmatic, simple way was always discipline and structure. I thought I was going to see this version of N'Golo Kante at the Euros, and he was fantastic. I saw a version that I thought I would see tonight. There was a play when Sandro Tonali, down the left-hand side, put the Jets on him, and I'm like, what's going on here? It was like Kylian Mbappé was going against a regular player. It created some separation that I just couldn't believe with N'Golo Kante. Fofana, cheaply giving up the ball time after time. And what's worse is now you have players, what I think, almost taking shots at the shops. When Griezmann's talking about no press, tactically inept, I mean, that's a shot at the coach right there. And it must be in the air, because we saw Pedri taking shots at, Xavi Hernandez earlier, who's no longer there, that now they work with a different intensity, things they weren't doing before. It's almost like these players are screaming for a different type of leadership. But tonight, I saw a French team that never got out of first gear. You have some of the most explosive players in the world, one of the best playmakers in the world in a Kylian Mbappé, who is used to playing in a central position, who was nullified by a very, very smart Italian team. And Luciano Spalletti, I mean, halftime, they're in a situation where he's got to make a move, and he's very aggressive. Along with Righetti, Raspadori comes on, it's 2 9s, and all of a sudden, you're in a position where Fofana and Kante are outnumbered in the midfield. It's having a field day. Alex spoke about these transitions. They're not really pressing in great areas. They're pressing in their own midfield, winning the ball, transition, and it's one-way football. I thought it was excellent from Spalletti, and it was really a showcase of how coaching matters.
How do you think those comments will be received, Frank, by Griezmann in France?
Well, sometimes you have questions asked to yourself, and sometimes you're the first guilty, and you have to answer. You have to say, yeah, we weren't good enough, but he should have had, me the first, and it wasn't good enough. We didn't see the Griezmann that I know that played for Atletico Madrid and been absolutely excellent and fantastic last season. That wasn't the case today. He wasn't there. We didn't see him. I was expecting him getting out after the first half because he was completely transparent, and of course he wasn't the only one. What I see on the social network now is I think it's maybe too much for Didier Deschamps. So he's going to be the first on the line, that's for sure. But the players, they have to look at themselves, and what they showed to the world today is clearly not enough, and can be disrespectful for the national team. You have to play, and I mentioned that it's a National League competition, but at the end of the day, again, you play for your country. So if not, you're not interested. If you're not ready because it's the beginning of the season, you shouldn't play. You should say to the coach, I'm not ready. So play another guy who can play 100%, but you play for your country. You don't play only for a team, for just a color, you play for your country. So you have to be good. If you're not ready, don't play. And some players weren't ready.
Frank, the guys were discussing Mbappe's comments before the game on yesterday's show and what he had to say about where he is right now. He said, I'm in a place where I've always wanted to be. Last year there was a bit of distance. All my career I have hated losing. Last year I just liked winning. Now I am back in that mindset of hating failure. Now Dan put it to the panel yesterday that reading between the lines, it sounds as if he wasn't really bothered with losing as much last year. Would that be a fair interpretation?
Yeah, well, we all know that Dan is a little bit twisted, so at some point, so we know that he will have that reaction. He's a journalist after all, and I understand what he means, and I love him for that because he's a funny guy and very clever. But I don't understand what Mbappé really wants to mean. I really think that when you want to be positive, you want to enjoy winning. Hating failure, I understand that, but it puts the pressure on you, and sometimes it doesn't develop your instinct of killing the other. So I don't really know what it means. I don't read between the lines. He wants to tell us that he went back to his best, which I think, and what I see, is not the case right now. It's not the Mbappé that I saw like 2 or 3 years ago. For sure, it's not. He's not explosive anymore. He tries too much to force and to score goals. So it's not the Mbappé that I've seen a lot with Paris Saint-Germain before with Monaco. And he's only 24. It's not like he's at the end of his career. He's there. I think he's preparing physically. He's wandering too much when he plays for Madrid. Today, he didn't play the same position. I was wondering when he was playing. Was he a number 10, like his shirt says, or was he a number 9? He was stepping on Griezmann's feet a little bit at some point. So you have to clarify his positioning, because for me, it's not clear. We don't know where he plays. He's not efficient like he used to be. And, I don't care if he hates failure or if he loves winning, but be productive.
Is Dan so cheeky? What would you read between the lines?
Well, I think those are two different questions. Yes, Dan is that bad, yes. As it pertains to Kylian Mbappé, and it's noticeable with Real Madrid, it's noticeable with France, and it's a discussion that we've had in the past, is how much in this part of his career he's trying to come to the ball and show us how much he can play make. how much he can find the final pass, how much he can combine from a playmaking position. And what I would tell him if I were his manager is, look, I know you're a great player. Everybody knows that you're a great player. You don't have to show me that. What I need you to do for me is, how about you test that back line over there? How about diagonal movements? How about runs in behind? How about that change of pace? Create separation over there. Not here, over there. Over here, let Griezmann do that. Let others do that. Over there, in between the center backs, off the shoulder center backs, into wide areas. That's where I think he is one of the best players in the world. Not playmaking. Playmaking, you're doing a favor to center backs. You're doing a favor to back lines. Because the further away that you're from goal, the more comfortable they are. You think if you're a center back, whoever it may be today, whoever, you name whoever you want, Calafiori. We'll just say Calafiori because Don says he's a beautiful runner. Okay? You think Calafiori is more comfortable with Mbappé off his shoulder or Mbappé over there 20 yards away trying to play make? Well, of course. If you want to play make over there, great. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kylian. You're not hurting me there. You're not hurting our team there. Get over here in between center backs and diagonal movement and runs in behind and use that physicality and that speed to create that separation. That's where he becomes one of the best players in the world. Not because you can complete 5-yard passes and give and goes.
This was in the Nations League, then Portugal kicking off their campaign with a victory and taking all 3 points, but it is Cristiano Ronaldo who will dominate the headlines around the world after getting his 900th goal. You take a look, Lionel Messi, his closest compare with 838. Some quick maths would suggest that is 62 more than Messi. Pele then with 765, Romario at 756, and Ferenc Puskás at 753. To wax lyrical about Cristiano Ronaldo, we welcome Julien Laurent into the show. No matter your opinion about him, Jules, of course, Messi fans aren't his biggest fans. There are people who absolutely love him. 900 goals, there's no questioning that.
It's incredible, really. And the longevity, of course, to be able to score that many goals. You still have to be at your best for 20 years, and that's what he's done. And it's just incredible to see him, even now, 39, he will be 40 in February, to still be able to score. We talked enough about his Euros and how disappointing this was, and that he was not really at the right level for that kind of competition. Tonight, in a game where Portugal struggled at times, especially in the second half, in terms of balance of their team and conceding chances, even if they ended up winning the game, for him to be in that position, and like Craig said, it's the perfect cross, and you knew, even when Nuno Mendes was about to take that cross, you knew exactly where the ball will end up and that Cristiano would be there, wherever that ball ended up, and he was there, and perfect contact, perfect finish. He scored, of those 900, he would have scored, I don't know, maybe 200 like that. He knew exactly where the ball was going to come and how he would finish it.
It really is some achievement.
No, it's a great achievement, and the career is incredible, like Messi's, and you know, the commitment to turn up and play for your country, the amount of caps he's got, the desire, everything is credible. Incredible. What a player. I cannot say any more about him and Messi in this era. They have been generational talents, incredible. But this is all about numbers. Nothing else. At the Euros, we discussed it. When we got to the knockout stages, he was a passenger. So he's padding all these numbers now and he's turning up for his country. But the World Cup is 2 years away. Is he going to be better or worse? So where is the long-term vision for a guy, for a country, for a manager who's trying to build the next Portugal? Because you're not going to tell me in 2 years' time Ronaldo's going to be a better, fitter, quicker player. He's not. He struggled at the European Championships. He's got all this time in between. He's playing in Saudi. Yes, he's scoring for his country here. But where is the longevity and the decision-making and the forward-thinking of Portugal when we have 2 years to this elite-level World Cup in the United States and some other countries? Where's the vision? I don't get it. So it's just about numbers.
He addressed it, actually. He addressed it after the game when he was talking about the achievement of 900 goals and talking about maybe padding out those stats. Here's what he had to say. Portugal winning Euros is equivalent to winning a World Cup. Obviously, he's won the Euros with Portugal. I've already won 2 trophies for Portugal. That I really wanted. I'm not motivated by that. I'm motivated by enjoying football, and the records come naturally, Stevie.
Why would he say that? Why would he say the Euros is the same as the World Cup?
Yes, I'm trying to be more positive about Ronaldo, but I feel this is going to take us in a different direction.
Well, listen. Regardless of what the situation now with Portugal, I don't disagree with anything Craig said right now, but the fact he's got 900 goals just tells you how good he is.
Yeah.
Just tells you that when it comes to the final third of the pitch or the field, he knows exactly what's going on. He understands who's on the ball, where they're going to put it, how it's going to come in, the pace it's going to be at. He understands where to be all the time. I mean, that is just pure football instinct and talent. That's what that is. I think we should just forget about the quote because it doesn't make any sense. How about you just think that 900 times this guy has got himself in the right position, had the composure and the football knowledge to put the ball in the back of the net 900 times. That's frightening.
No, it's incredible, but it doesn't get away.
No, it doesn't.
We should not have a dereliction of duty here to talk about the big picture, which is really Portugal and the multi-level of talent they have, and a manager who didn't have the stomach to make the big decision at the Euros. And Ronaldo, as the Euros went on, was a passenger. But that's undeniable.
That's not his fault.
Well, I know
it's not his fault if the guy's doesn't have the gumption to drop him. So he's just going to keep scoring goals when he gets the chance, and then eventually somebody is going to say thanks very much, but it's time. But until then, he's just going to keep scoring.
So I have no interest. The records are incredible. I don't decry anything he's done. I've sat back. We've all sat back for 10 to 15 years watching him going, well, I remember saying once, will we ever see, him and Messi, by the way, will we ever see performances and numbers like this again? I don't think Mbappé or any of the other ones will get there. I don't. Not on a yearly basis that they churned it out. Every year. And that is fact. But the bigger picture is, he scores in the qualifiers and the friendlies, he scores in the Nations League, and the numbers go up and he's turning it. That's great. But the big story here, the big picture here is, we have a manager who's basically, at the moment, going to be leading the line at the World Cup in America. What age will he be then? Jules will probably know better than me. 38, so what will he be in the World Cup, Jules?
He'll be 41.
My God, he'll be 41. So we're saying the manager of Portugal, who have got all this talent level, and don't have a guy of Cristiano Ronaldo's talent when he was in his 20s and his early 30s, but are we really saying he's going to lead the line for this country at 41 in America, and that's the way Roberto Martinez is going to go? Is that really?
Well, everything points in that direction, doesn't it? What we've seen in the Euros, what we've seen of
everything points to Portugal getting knocked out again, and we put a sledgehammer over Roberto Martinez's head for making that decision.
Okay, are we live? Hello. Are we live? Hello? Yes. I see People's Republic. Give me a few seconds to settle. I just got here. Check sounds. Wait. It's too much. People can't even hear me. Sorry for your ears. I have to double check on the sound and everything else. I think the music is acceptable now. People can hear. Checking. Everything is checked. Boom. How everybody's doing? Say hi and give me some feedbacks if you are in the building. Kamara, nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, so almost done. Clicking some buttons here. Okay, so it's weekend, and what a weekend without Chelsea drama. It's not a weekend anymore if it's not Chelsea drama. Chelsea always feed the world of sport, football in general. Without Chelsea drama, how people are gonna survive, you know? How people can pay their bills. Can't do anything without Chelsea. We are the gift that keep on giving. Checking. There's a game that is happening right now. England are playing already in Dublin. And I think Jack Grealish, who actually is from the island, switched to England. And then he scored against his own country. Why there is, and Carsey also, like that Carsey guy, Kersey or Carsey, I don't know how it's pronounced. He's also from there. So a lot of Irish in the England team, including the coach, Declan Rice, Jack Grealish, and the coach. Boom, 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 boom. People's Republic.
Bonsoir, my friend. Bonsoir. Long time no hear. How are you, sir?
I am okay. Surviving.
Surviving? You said you're hard at work. Paying bills.
Yeah, paying bills is hard. Life is so hard. So
nothing's for free. Nothing's for free in this life. Nothing falls out of the sky by itself. We have to slave for everything in this life.
That's why you keep on asking me, why are you not live? Why you don't have to do this for free, for fun, to talk to people? And the end of the month, you have bills and cars and houses to pay and kid and buying freaking Chelsea shirt every single 6 months for 5 people. So
how much in America if you were to buy an original, not the copyright one, the original Chelsea shirt? How many dollars are you talking about?
$149.99.
$150 for a shirt? Are you crazy? That is insanity. I went to holiday in Turkey here this summer. You know, I always go on holiday to Turkey, and saw there's so many of these sports shops, but they're selling like they call them first copy, not the original, but they call them first copy. So the first quality, you really have to know to see the difference between the original and the copy. They're so similar, but the price is like, wow. It's almost like I would say maybe you buy one for $25 or something like that. But I just didn't want. And every team you can think about, whether it's Dynamo Tbilisi, whether it's FC Copenhagen, whether it's Chelsea, they'll sell everything. These guys and all the new ones, not the old kids, all the brand new ones. So I don't know how these guys. It's a very, very lucrative market. All the tourists come there. They all come and buy all these football shirts for cheap because they're back in their own country. It's too expensive. And they come back here and then they're all wearing all these.
We're not promoting criminal organizations here, are we?
But that's what they do. I'm just saying this is what happens. What's what tourists do. That's where they go and spend money on all this copyright stuff. All this.
I'm not gonna buy those to my kid. Come on. What kind of example I'm gonna give to them? Buy a copy of thing? No, man. I wanna feel proud of like, hey, I worked very hard to buy you this original shirt from Chelsea shop, and I'm supporting my team. So what the heck? Like it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like I spend anything if I buy it to my people. Like it makes me proud of, and it's just like I'm rewarded by my hard work.
That's true.
That's the way I see it. Like I would never do that. I would never ever do that, man. Back in the day when I was myself and whatever, those cheap stuff, bring it. But now, come on. You buy it right now, come on, man. For
Yeah, but
example,
it depends where you go on holiday. So if you go, like, let's say Turkey, if you go down to Alanya, you don't find any original stuff. So you go in those
maybe you
shops,
don't know
everything.
where it is because in the
No, but they
tourist,
just don't sell it because nobody buys them because nobody can afford them. So you'll find all these Gucci's and all these, I don't know, Armani's and all this, what you call them, brand names. Everything is first copy, and it's all. Half of it's made in China, half is made in Turkey, it's like I said, they're counterfeiting. Let's call it what it is. It's counterfeit products. The counterfeits are so good that you really have to be an expert. You have to know. You have to be really a fine schmecker, as they say in English, to see the difference. You can see the difference. Sometimes maybe
you
the
will know
stitching
that
or
the first time that you put it in your washer, or the first time you take it to the dry cleaning place, that's easy. The same day that you're gonna find out that you've been scammed, because everything will be peeling off from your back, from whatever, giving whatever color it is bleeding everywhere. It shrinks and it's horrible. So that you're gonna find it actually immediately. If you take to dry cleaners like us here, or you put it in the machine and you forgot, and it's just gonna mess up other clothes and everything. It's gonna be bleeding, and just the damage that is gonna cause to your other items is like much than if you bought the original. Anyway,
but if you buy the original, let's say you're in America, you buy the original $250, and then you put it in your washer, whatever, it spoils. So you can go back to the shop and say, "Yeah, this is a bad product. I want my money back, or want a replacement." Or do you have that?
Depend on how what they give warning. Like the original one, they're gonna tell you how to clean it or how to dry it. Mostly, they're gonna tell you dry it naturally. So after like you wash it in your washing machine, it's not gonna peel off everything because it's still original. But if you heat it in a dryer, for example, and it get contact in that heat, it could melt. It could melt those plastic thing they put on numbers and names. But if your shirt is like stinched, like I had to stinch. I have actually to pay, and that's why I regret a lot. Like Kai Havertz, when he was at Chelsea Football Club, I bought a football jersey, right? American football. And I choose number 29, and I put Kai Havertz, and I order it to be stinched. Because you can do that, right? They can put those number, they iron it very quick, cheap. Or you can stitch it like original, like very, very nice. And that is going to cost you a lot of money to do that. The entire shirt cost me about $290 to do it. And then
you spoiled it in the machine.
No, I didn't, because that one you can put it in the machine, you can put it in the dryer, you can put it. It doesn't do anything because it's stinched. I don't know how to explain it. It's not those plastic thing. It just like, I don't know, handmade or whatever it is.
It's sewn on the machine there, stitched there. I see. But that is very interesting.
The numbers are not those plastic thing they put in names and whatever. You can order the one that they're going to put, I don't know what cloth or whatever it is, and they stitch it. I don't know if they do it by hand because it costs a lot of money. But anyways.
But where you live in America, now where I'm from in Africa, if you wash clothes and then you hang them outside to dry, you have to iron them not because you want them to be neat and tidy, but you iron them to kill those eggs from those. There's some insects bugs which leave eggs in the clothes, and if you put them on, then they come into your skin and then it goes into your body. Do you have that problem in America, or you can just dry them naturally? You don't have to iron it afterwards.
Well, it depends. Like most of my clothes, I have to give you my secret here, but I don't iron them because they come so good. But when they're still hot, you can just put your hand on top and fold them. And like jeans, I'm on jeans and football shirt pretty much every day. I'm not like a guy that will be suit, and I'm so casual. My hoodie.
I was just more curious if you have the same kind of insects in America than like in Africa, where you have to iron them for your own health.
Well,
to
they
kill all
have
things.
insects are everywhere, but some it's not like malaria insect or something but you can still have insect that will bite you. Still insect though, but I don't think they carry disease or something.
Yeah, because in that way I come from, you must. If you don't, then they some, I can't remember what the name of it. It lays very, very small eggs on the clothes while it's drying out in the nature. And then once you think your clothes are dry, those eggs are there. And then when you put your clothes on, then it's in your skin, and then it goes into your body, and then it can cause all kinds of
disease and stuff. Yeah.
Yes,
So
boils and stuff, and that is very, very horrible. And here's another interesting fact for you. I was watching a YouTube blogger. If you go into a country where it's very, very humid, let's say DRC, or if you go to the Philippines, and it can be very, very, very hot outside, but if you put your clothes out to dry, it can take maybe up to 2 days to dry your clothes, even though it's maybe the temperatures are like, I don't know, you do Fahrenheit, I do centigrade. It could be like maybe 25, 30 degrees, but it take 2 days to dry because there's so much humidity. The clothes cannot dry. That is incredible.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just because it's hot doesn't mean it's gonna dry. I know what you mean. Yeah,
but you live in the middle, so it's not so humid there. I think it's a bit drier where you live compared to other places where it's just, you could be sitting here, you're just sweating like crazy, even though you're not even moving, and it's that must be a horrible way to live. But it is, yeah. Anyway, I want to do the first subject. We're going to talk about Ronaldo, if it's okay with you, before you go to Chelsea.
Yeah, go ahead, Ronaldo. How about Ronaldo?
Yeah, but yes, congratulations, 900 goals, wow, hallelujah, and all that. But for me, I think a lot of that is empty calories. What do I mean by empty calories? Empty calories. If you eat like a Mars bar it's just nothing but sugar. It makes you think that you're going to be full, but it's actually there's no food, there's no calories in it. It's just empty, and you're just hungry like 5 minutes later. And half of those goals, as far as I'm concerned, they're all empty calories. They're just meaningless goals scored against friendlies against Liechtenstein and what have you, games where he was just stat padding, and I don't know. He's a great player, yes. He's a great commercial success. He's a very handsome man. All that I'll give him all that credit. But I just think some of those goals, 900 goals, and it is what it is now. He's trying to reach the 1,000 goal milestone, which I think was it only Pele has scored 1,000 goals. I don't think anybody else scored 1,000 goals. You tell me. And so that is. It's just a bit sad to see him. I watched this last Euros, and it was sad to watch him play because he's a pale shadow of his former great stuff. He's been a great player, that's not a lie. But to watch him there, and he's just like sort of like running around, not really doing anything, and just waiting for opportunity to score, and then even missing penalties and what have you. It's you like to see people finish on top. You don't want to see them when they're like finished, where they've lost their shine and everything. We want to see somebody who's been great finish at the top of the mountain. That makes sense. It's a bit like a boxer. Same thing. You want to see your boxer finish at his best. You don't want to see him when he's a punch bag, when everybody's just beating him up, but he's just being knocked out and he's just boxing because it's for money. You want his reputation, his name, his glory, whatever, and all that to remain intact, and you don't want it to be tarnished. You want it to, I don't know, that's just me. Maybe I'm just old, my way of thinking.
Well, that is your theory.
Here we go.
Now, let me ask you something. Would you have somebody who can just finish those chances, or somebody who will miss 10 chances and you lose the game? Because give me
some options. Give me some options for your argument. I have to take that in context.
Yeah,
give me some options.
I know you support Jackson, but not in terms of scoring goals. But people complain about Jackson a lot. Even me, I still support him, but I'm not gonna be like one-sided of the argument. I will be checking both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last season, if he scored at least 10% of what he missed, top 4 was guaranteed. and the FA Cup or even Carabao Cup guaranteed because he missed like 100 chances before Liverpool one header. We're under 12 and we lost. Or would you like to have somebody in front of those actions because you called it what did nothing calorie? What that's
empty calories.
Calorie.
Empty.
All right. So empty calorie that will give you end product, or a lot of calories that give you zero end product.
Yeah, but okay, I'll ask you a question another way. We're talking about Jackson now. A striker, as far as I know, a striker. There's different kinds of striker. We talk about centre forward. Now, in order to get those chances, you were saying they miss 1,000 chances. True, I can't argue against that. I'm not even going to try. But in order to get those chances, you have to be there. So in other words, you have to work damn hard. You got to run hard. You got to create your space. You got to detach from your defenders and make yourself available. How many strikers in the Chelsea team have that talent, that knowledge, that skill to actually make yourself available to put yourself in the position to score or to, in this case, maybe miss? So it doesn't mean just because you buy Victor, whoever, or you buy this other striker, this whatever, it doesn't mean that they're automatically going to go and score, because they won't be able to get in that position, to put themselves in a position Jackson does, because Jackson, as you know, he's a very unorthodox. He's not a standard striker. He's a very, his running style is different. He's strong. He's physically strong. He's very fast. It's very, very hard to stop him. While if you, let's say, you find another striker, let's say, I don't know, Haaland or even better, let's say Victor, defenders maybe have easier time to mark him because he's more standard strikers. They know because they're practice. While Jackson is so difficult to defend against him because he's damn all over the show, if you get my point. And another guy, by the way, when you talk about all these strikers missing chances, I can find you one striker who cost more than Jackson, who misses even more chances than Jackson. I don't know why you never mentioned him, but Charles Darwin at Liverpool. This guy here from Benfica, I don't know, they paid, 85 million for him. Nobody ever talks about all the chances he misses. How many chances that guy missed? I mean, much, much more than Jackson. But Jackson at least scored 17 goals. How many did Darwin score? So that is, I just think that it doesn't want to, yeah, sorry.
We have to go point by point now. Are you allowing me now to
Sorry.
No. You don't have to be sorry. I'm just telling you so we don't get lost, because you are absolutely a politician. I think you are somebody who did politics or still do politics, but you are just hiding, not telling us the truth, because you find a way to deflect from the problem. Okay, so let me go back and give you an example. Like a few months ago, almost a year ago, you know David Beckham, right?
Yes, sir.
So he got a famous girlfriend and then now wife, Victoria, right?
Spice Girl, yeah?
Spice Girl. They get married, got kids, all that. Well, they were making a documentary not long ago on Netflix or something. And you know how they ask you your origin and how you are, you know, where you come from, and you say all the good things and make it look like you worked very hard to get to where you are. Okay, it's gonna make sense at the end. So don't get lost here, huh?
No, I'm listening.
So it was a Victoria Beckham time to talk about her life, and she was like, we coming from a very humble beginning and we are very working class and whatever. And Beckham came out of nowhere. He's like, no, I'm not gonna take this, man. He's like, be honest. Be honest. Like, he just cut his interview and he's like, be honest. Be honest. And then he asked her, what car your dad was driving you to school in the 80s?
Okay.
No, it's not that black. Like, women, they want to argue and try to find another. No. I'm just asking you what car they were driving you to school with. Oh, we had Rolls. How do you call it? Yeah.
Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce in the 80s. So it was
what?
like, okay.
Are you serious? Okay. This is true.
He was like, okay, thank you so much for, thank you. The point I'm trying to make you here is you always try to put certain things to try to look humble, but you are absolutely a politician. You don't answer to the question. You don't answer like somebody ask you something else, you want to deflect. Oh, there is a context behind it, or look at this. And so you are one of those people in that category of whataboutism. How aboutism? How about Nunes? How about this? My question was simple. Tell the truth. Oh, yes, it's simple. You don't have to go to look at Nunes. I'm telling you now, Jackson, let's take away from his hard work and whatever and getting to positions. That makes it even harder to accept. You getting to position and you miss 90% of that. And somebody who is zero calorie, what did you call it?
Empty calories.
Empty calorie, who got at the end of those actions and score a goal and win you a trophy.
Yeah, but that guy, empty calories, Ronaldo, we specifically talking about. How much work does he do in the whole game? The whole game, he does nothing, and he waits for that one chance, and he expects all his teammates to do all the donkey work. I think that's very, very unfair, and you can see how it affects the rest of the team. The morale drops when they can see, okay, this guy is a bit like if you watch Man United playing. I don't know if you saw the game Man United versus Liverpool the other day. It was Man United, the style they play, you have, yes, when they attack, they look dangerous, especially when they're counter-attacking. But unfortunately, a bit like Chelsea, the few chances they get, they don't score, and then you get punished at that level. But the issue I have with Man United, you got luxury players, you got passengers. Number one passenger, biggest passenger is what's called Marcus Rashford. Watch him play. Watch him. He doesn't do anything. He just like walks back. Another one, Bruno, does do nothing. Another one, that young guy, Canacho. So you got three players doing nothing, and then the midfield is overworked, overexposed, and Liverpool just rings around them because there's nobody there to backpack. Wow, if you look at Chelsea, let's see how Chelsea plays. You will see Jackson, he's back, he's in the midfield, he's helping the midfield. You'll see Cole Palmer, they're all work as a team. Yes, and while you see Portugal, you got that one passenger there, Ronaldo. Ronaldo doesn't do anything apart from hang around the box and wait, cry. He does a lot of crying, by the way. And then when he scores, all he lives for is to do that, see all that nonsense there, and he wants all the Instagram or all the look at me, and that is very demoralizing to a team when they think, okay, this guy is so. It's all about him and nothing else. He's not a team player. And before he used to be, but now with age and whatever, his legs are slowed down and all that. God bless him. He's getting older. We all get older. But, you still got to contribute to the team. You can't just expect your teammates to do all the donkey work for you, and then you take all the glory and all the shine. And then when you do miss your penalty, you cry like a little baby. Come on, grow up, man.
I understand that. I understand your theory about that. The problem is you always talk about one side of the story and you don't see the other side of the story. The guy Which
other side?
The other side, that's what I want to explain. The other side is he scores you goals. He brings people to stadium. He makes you rich. Everybody is carrying a part of pie. From Ronaldo, FIFA, UEFA, whatever organization, they don't want even this guy to go. And himself is making a name for himself and still scoring 900 goals. You can say whatever you want now. The guy created a legend that is not going to be taken over easily, probably generation until the aliens come and take over this world. So you have to give him credit. But my problem is you always see the size to make your theory.
No, but Messi is not a big legend like Ronaldo.
We're gonna come back. Let's say hi to Mr. Ice, and then we're gonna come back.
Hey, my brother from another mother, he's here. Yes.
You are something.
Oh my God.
A real politician. This guy.
I cannot believe what I'm hearing. Did I just hear somebody trying to talk about the god of football? Did I just hear somebody trying to
empty calories everywhere? Empty calories.
Did I hear somebody trying to bite more than he can chew? My goodness.
Here we go.
You didn't need to waste your time trying to debate with People's Republic on Ronaldo. There's no need. There are two footballers in the world.
Okay, here we go.
Do you know who they are?
Tell us more.
Ronaldo and the rest. Okay, so listen, Og said it all. Ronaldo is not just a footballer; he's a brand. He's a politician. He's a business. He's not like the legendary Jay-Z said. He's not a businessman. He's a businessman.
Yeah.
He used to be. I'll give you three brands that are bigger than Ronaldo. Football brands. Three. I give you three standing foot. Kylian Mbappé. I can go to Real Madrid. I can pick up.
Not even close.
Mbappé.
He's can't even tie his shoes right now.
He's a huge brand.
That boy got a big head. He can't score a goal at the moment. You know, the last time he scored a goal, the dinosaurs were still in existence. And you talking about Ronaldo, who scored game after game after game, breaking all kind of record. Mbappé,
that's Saudi football.
Down,
Saudi League. Come on, man. Be real.
Learn. Mbappé is my own brother, but he needs to sit down and learn. When Ronaldo was killing and dominating the world, that guy was in school. Okay, in primary school, watching Ronaldo on TV. So you can't come here and disrespect Ronaldo just because big head Mbappé is there. Yesterday, he almost gave me a heart attack. How many chances he missed? We got smashed seriously by freaking Italy.
Italy is a quality team, man. 3-1. I watched the game.
At home. Yes, I know they are. No. You're not talking about Italy of Maldini and Roberto Baggio here, right? This Italy is just low key. You look on paper and like nobody's, but they come to your house. They beat you in your own house. They just violated you.
They take your lunch money.
They take your lunch money, spank you, get you out of your freaking house. Come on, give me a break. There is no comparison in this stage between Mbappé and Ronaldo. Sit down. And you, by saying that, 15 days in jail. That's how you do.
This is Mr. Ice's fault, because I was just saying that Ronaldo used to be a great player. Yeah, I will give him his flowers, but I'm just saying his days of being the top of the creme de la creme left. When he left Real Madrid, went to Juventus, was there for sure. Now he's in Saudi League there. You can't tell me that those goals he's scoring there have any value compared to the ones Mbappé scores for PSG or Real Madrid, what have you. It's two different fairy tales. Mbappé he's at top of his game as we speak. Ronaldo used to be, but unfortunately, age catches up with everybody. It's not his fault. Ronaldo, he got old. But you can't compare. The shine is gone. He's going to score 1,000 goals more likely, but can you compare that to Pelé, the great Pelé, and his 1,000 goals? It's two different.
No, not official. Some of the goals he scored in his backyard, and he counted as a goal. Everything is. Some of the goals he scored in friendly, like soccer ads back in Zaire, Congo, he counted as goal. It's every single thing that he did. One dribble, one not. He can't even on the street. All those goals are added to be officially he's on 700 something. That is official count from FIFA. But Ronaldo official count from FIFA is 900. And we can't compare those people, the generations and the time where they used to play barefoot and the soccer ball was to be like 15 pounds heavier. Yeah. And they're playing in those pitches with pieces of glasses and metals everywhere. You can't compare this time around with sports science, medicine and everything. Look at even, sorry about that, the jerseys in the 90s, like baggy, big, heavy. You can see now it's getting like so light stuff. So we can't compare those generations. I'm not gonna compare Pele with Ronaldo. Nobody's gonna be like Pele. Nobody's gonna be like Ronaldo. But also science, medicine, and everything kind of help a lot the new generation. A lot of protection. Back in the day, Maradona, back in the day when he used to be at like Barcelona, if you look at the video, he used to fight like real fight. Somebody wanna break his leg and then a big fight. Boom, 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 boom. It's just few yellow cards. They shake hands. That's it. Now it's okay, welfare. It's a mental issues. You can't do this. It's freaking, it's protect.
VAR everywhere for one nostril, hair nostril. Oh, it was 1 millimeter offside. What? Come on, grow up. This is ridiculous. And this is the new one I was reading somewhere. Some of these activists, they want to ban players from heading the ball. They want to take heading out of football. So what? Because it's
changing, my friend. Stop comparing generations, and you have to give respect to Ronaldo and also respect to
Messi.
Pele and Maradona, and even Messi, because they are their own personality. Like it's that's the way it is,
So sorry, Mr. Ice, for setting you up. I didn't mean to upset you. So
no,
is he still there?
I don't know if he got mad. He's having his breakfast of champions. It's weekend, right? It's weekend. So Mr. Ice is gonna have his breakfast of champions, which is bacon, eggs, some
bacon. English breakfast. What is English breakfast?
Let me finish before I forgot. It also gets Guinness on it, like some heavy stuff,
Ooh, it's too much. That's too much
stuff in it, and people
beans, toast, black pudding. What else do they have in there? Mushrooms, and what else do they have in English breakfast?
Ronaldo? No, eh?
No,
Mr. Ice, if I ask you a layup question here. Sure. So if we put Ronaldo and Messi to the side because they're reaching the retirement age, who 5 top stars who right now are carrying the torch after Ronaldo, who will they be? I've mentioned one, Mbappé.
It's hard, man. We're not going to see. It's not about. I think it's more that's a fantastic question. That holding of the torch is going to democratize. It's going to be a diluted situation. There's going to be a lot of these kids holding that torch. Gone are the days when these are. I mean, think about Ronaldo. I don't even consider Messi, with all due respect. What Ronaldo has. I'm going to go back to Ronaldo. Listen, the reason why I like Ronaldo and why everybody likes Ronaldo is his journey, ladies and gentlemen. People's Republic, I don't think you know Ronaldo's journey. Do you?
Of course I do. I followed him from the day we started Man United.
Why are we having this discussion? I don't think so.
No, carry on. I'm listening.
Did you see this guy work from the scratch to make himself better every day?
He was just lucky. He was played under Sir Alex Ferguson, who took no nonsense, who demanded very, very high standards. That was half of his motivation right there.
You know what? Messi, the only thing I give Messi is Messi was born with the football. That's it. Ronaldo had to create himself in the football world. I respect that. Ronaldo, it didn't come easy to him. He actually had to go and get it. And he played in every league in the world, literally. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not sleep on Ronaldo. This is the GOAT, ladies and gentlemen. This is an icon. We're talking numbers. He's the one single guy that comes into your house, People's Republic. You know what you say to him?
I'm listening.
You are all welcome. You say it to one person. You are all
Don't
welcome.
touch my wife. That's it.
You are all welcome.
So from what I understand, but sorry to interrupt you, just very quickly. So what you're trying to say to me is that Ronaldo did not have the natural talent like Messi did. He had to work very, very hard to get to the level.
And that is the reason. Listen, I hated Ronaldo as a Chelsea fan. If you guys know the Ronaldo days, Ronaldo versus Ashley Cole. I hated Ronaldo. But I watched this guy day in, day out, keep the nightlight burning to actually make himself relevant in the football world. Yes, People's Republic. I don't know him from his Portuguese heritage, but I bet you this guy didn't get it like Messi. Messi was born. When Messi came out in the hospital, he had a football in his hand. But Ronaldo had to make himself relevant. And he became a commercial and sports success in every territory he went to. Messi sat in Spain for how long? Help me out here.
And they had to throw him out because they couldn't afford him. They threw eventually. He'd probably be still there, but they couldn't afford him, so they threw him out.
My brother, say hi to the rest of your panelists, please.
Okay, Mr. Roman Abramovich and Mr. Sodiq, introduce yourself.
Yeah, it's me, Official Lambi.
Yes.
Good evening, brothers.
Good evening.
I've been listening to what you guys are discussing, and to me, my own opinion on that is Ronaldo is a great player and is one of the GOATs. And kudos to his hard work that keep him there. And one thing that I want us to believe is that we shouldn't forget about the raw talent that Messi has. So there are so many players who have the talent, but they couldn't make use of it. Look at someone like Eden Hazard. Is a pure talent. But what comes out of Eden Hazard? Although he's a great player, he do everything, but kudos to Messi self, because he make himself who he is, who God said he will be. And one question that I'll ask you is that are you praying for God to make your work easy for you or to do your work for you? It's better to pray for God to do your work for you than to make it easier. So if God do your work for you, if God do your work for you, you are free from all stress.
Can you ask that question again? I'm confused. You said, do you want God to give it to you for free, or do you want to clarify that question?
The question is that, do you want God to help you do your work or to do your work for you? And that's my question.
No.
I hope
you want God to point you in the direction and then you go get it. And that's what Ronaldo did. Messi, personally, like you said, he has the talent. But to everyone, it came natural to him. He was born with that talent. Ronaldo didn't have that talent that you're talking about, that raw talent. Ronaldo created it, and we saw it all before our eyes.
I know he was a guy who spent hours and hours.
Let's say hi to another brother, and then we're gonna move to talking about Chelsea dramas, and we're gonna continue. You know, it's a weekend, and I think Ice got his breakfast of champions, so we fine. Sadiq,
hello.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Hawks, I'm with you. I heard all what they are saying since. Everybody have their say. You know, Ronaldo and Messi, you know, their life and how God creates them, you know, is work of God. I'm calling from Nigeria. From Nigeria here, we have musicians, two of them. They are Fuji musicians. Talking about Saheed Osupa and Pasuma. If you hear that name,
Pasuma.
Yes.
I know them.
See how they are.
They are my brothers.
They are Ronaldo and Messi. They are God creators, and they use their time. No, before other footballers who came to beat their level, how those players will work very hard. Though I don't know, maybe if you are understanding me. So this thing that we are talking about, you see Ronaldo, I give kudos to Ronaldo because when God creates you as Messi, you see, if you don't mind, you say, I have this, I can do this, and you take it. I heard one of my brother talking about Eden Hazard. You see how Eden Hazard work for Chelsea? If not his injury, Eden Hazard make a good move to Real Madrid. You see, my brother, you see, Ronaldo is a great man. Ronaldo is a great man. That's my opinion. So, Mr. Ox,
can I ask you a question, Chef? So if you say Ronaldo, you're comparing Ronaldo to Messi. Let's just say, just for argument's sake, there was no Messi. Would Ronaldo be that good if he didn't have that competition for Messi? If he was just by himself, would he reach that same level? Or did he need Messi to push him?
That is a lot of ifs and what, because we don't know what could have happened. But what I can say is Ronaldo started that hard work and arrogance since when he was at Sporting Lisbon. They played against Manchester United, and Sir Alex Ferguson was like, I'm not leaving Portugal without signing this boy. That's how impressive he was. I don't know, it was like a friendly game in preseason or something. I need this boy. I have to sign this boy. Back then, it wasn't this data and agent and complications. It was like, oh, you like the player? You talk to the club, you get the player without even people knowing what's happening, who this kid is. And then he came to Manchester United. I still remember an interview that I watched in his first season. It was an interview on TV or whatever, and they were asking who is the best footballer in the world. And that kid, he was like me. And Rio Ferdinand back then was like, I think Maradona. He talked about Pelé. And that kid came out of the blue. The best player in the world is me. So that arrogance, I'm not saying that pushed him all the way, but he had that in him, like, okay, I have to be the best in the world. I have to work harder than anybody. And remember, for a few years that he exploded at Manchester United, we didn't really know much about Messi back then. Messi was still in the academy and playing few games here, few 30 minutes, 10 minutes here in the first team. So we didn't really know who Messi was or how good he was going to be. And when Ronaldo went now to Spain, and then that war started. The point I'm trying to make here is that Ronaldo got that from really, really very hard, without even knowing Messi and him were going. Let me finish. Without knowing that Messi was going to be in that level, so he had already that spirit of fight and be the best that you can be. So if it wasn't for Messi, he was going to fight with Ribery, with Robben, with all those players. He always wanted, compare himself to the best so he can get the best. But for sure, we will never know if Messi added a dimension into his determination. Like, okay, I have somebody here who is really, really good as me, and I have to work even harder to do that. That could be...
Ox, can I jump in really quick, if you don't mind? Because what you're saying is very important, Ox. Listen, nobody here is saying... Ox, correct me if I'm wrong. I hope I'm not moving left here. Nobody is saying one is better than the other. The reason we're having this conversation is because of who? People's Republic. The way People's Republic referred to Ronaldo, it made him look like chopped liver. So back to what we're saying. Let's be fair. Take off your what do you call it? Take off your glasses and let's look at it pure for what it is. Do you think Messi was ambitious in his career?
We don't know because
he had a good system. He had a good system to play under. It came easier for him.
Thank you, my brother. Ambition is you stay hungry. Ronaldo exhibited hunger throughout his career. I don't think Messi did. Like People's Republic rightfully said, he had it. I wouldn't say it came easy, but he was born with the talent. I know Roman Abramovich was saying that. Would you rather God give you a talent or God help you work hard to get a talent? My brother, he had the talent. You understand? And it worked for him.
Sure.
But if you look at his career, Roman Abramovich, he only sat in Spain. And for me, as an outsider, if I look at him, I'll say, this guy didn't really want to challenge himself. He had something good going at Barcelona.
So let me add something very quickly here. Messi also had his own challenges. He couldn't even grow. That brother was like 3 inch or something like that. 3 foot or something, not 3 inch. And his parent had to sell stuff, sell houses, do whatever they can to get him to Spain, where he can get treatment and get good education in Barcelona. So you living your hometown, your parent at the age of 11 to go and pursue something and get help medically. He wasn't even supposed to be playing football. He was just naturally gifted. So you have also to give him some credit there that the guy also fought very, very hard to reach where he is. And remember when he started, he also had a lot of injuries at the beginning, and he started working very hard and disciplined himself. And to get in that level for so many years, because he's a low profile, he doesn't talk. Ronaldo is somebody who will come on TV and tell you, I'm the best, I'm going to beat you, today is my day. He's determined. But Messi is a low profile. He's walking behind the scenes, and you see only result on the pitch. So that just because he doesn't put a lot of noise doesn't mean that he's not ambitious. He's not ambitious. It's not because you're talking all the time and you want to make sure that people remember who you are and remind them the goals that you score and how many followers you have. Messi don't do that. He let everything go like naturally. And it doesn't mean that he's not determined or he's not strong enough as Ronaldo. Sometimes silence.
Yeah, like how my father used to say, empty barrel make a lot of noise.
You know, Ronaldo, I said, Ronaldo had to work very hard and prove people wrong. But somebody who has nothing to prove, he just does it behind the scenes, and on the match day, he just shows you what he can do.
Mr. Oaks, how did it go for Messi when he went to your favorite team, PSG? Then.
Tell me again. Say it again, please.
So how did it go? How did it work out for him when he went to PSG?
It's a lot of politics behind it. He didn't want to even go there. Yeah. Everybody knows about it. He didn't want to go there. He headed it over there, but it was financial. It was a financial decision. Barcelona pretty much pushed him out because they couldn't afford him anymore. A lot of financial issues that even happening today because of Messi's. Because he was taking like 90% of the entire team, the revenue and everything focused on one person. So there he went, first of all, for financial reason, and he headed over there. The guy lived for 2 years. He was in the hotel, never got a house over there. For your information, right? You have your kid, wife, your family members in the freaking hotel for 2 years, and in the situation that you don't really like, and a lot of politics there. Mbappé, big head, he wanna be the man. Messi is the man. Neymar, and then you bring Sergio Ramos. That it's just like a cut and
circus.
It was just like assembling a group of big names who hate each other just so they can. No, it was horrible there in France, but there is context behind it. So is that your question? What theory you wanted to make?
So my theory was that at least Ronaldo, he left his comfort zone at Man United, and he proved himself at Real Madrid. He proved himself at Juventus.
About Messi playing for only Barcelona is because of the team he loves so much. As a player, if you love a place, you won't like to live there. I think that is what makes Messi be at Barcelona for that long. And see someone like Eden Hazard, if Eden Hazard were to be in love with Chelsea for real, do you think he would love to leave Chelsea?
But listen,
but he's always said, his dream is always Real Madrid, though. Then
but again,
he went there. You understand? If Messi, if Ronaldo too have that, okay, this I want to play for Manchester United for his dream, nobody will challenge him. So everybody with their way of.
You're getting it wrong, man. Well, not that you're getting it wrong, but I understand what you're saying. Listen, the thing, I don't know if you understand the concept of ambition. Like a child will leave his family home, even though he loves the family. He's going to leave the home and go and build his own. True or false?
True.
True. That's what I'm saying. So for Messi, if you actually want to be honest, there, like people's welcome to the real world. I appreciate you. Welcome home. I can't believe people said it. Getting out of your comfort zone is the definition of a superstar.
Sure.
True or false? It's
true.
And if you look at Ronaldo, any league he went to, ladies and gentlemen, that league
he proved himself.
Sorry? He proved himself, my brother. He proved himself. Any league.
It's a great man.
Yeah, he proved himself.
Okay. My question now is that okay? Let me use Chelsea as a.
What Ronaldo tell this guy Mbappé? He tell Mbappé to go out there, go to England or Spain to prove himself.
My brother, God bless you. My brother, God bless you.
I understand where everybody are coming from, but my question is that okay, let's say we have Chelsea right now,
okay,
and you are the one to decide, one of these two messiah to save us from the mud we are right now.
Yes.
Who you prefer?
Ronaldo. Because Ronaldo
and
is,
why?
I tell you why. Ronaldo is, you can see in his face, right? He hates the concept of. I'm not saying Messi loves losing, but Ronaldo takes it personal. He wears his emotion on his sleeves. Ronaldo is like the everyday guy on the street. That is the reason why Ronaldo ministers to me. Actually, for those of you that don't know, it's because he's like every other guy on the street. He's a hustler. Think about a hustler on the streets of Lagos. That's Ronaldo.
Okay, so people, let me report.
Messi is a federal government worker working in Abuja. That's it.
Let me say something.
Just stay at Abuja only. Didn't come up for there. Don't know what happened. Didn't know what happened in Lagos. Didn't know what happened in this.
No.
Okay, so let me structure this a little bit. I just wanted to remind
Messi
people.
is the champion of Abuja. It's not a champion of Lagos and Port Harcourt.
Okay, Mr. Sadiq, I have to mute you a little bit because you're not allowing me to structure my show. You can unmute yourself when you want to talk. So I wanted to say that Chelsea women just destroyed Feyenoord 9-0. It was a friendly game though. Home at Kings Meadow, London, where our women are playing. So the season is going to be interesting for Chelsea. This time around, we are going for the Champions League.
What's the new coach's name?
Bonpasto.
Who?
Sonia Bonpasto.
Ah, okay.
Well, that is how you guys English pronounce.
Bonpasto.
For us French, bon pastor is like a good pastor. Literally, that's what it means. A good pastor and not a fake pastor from Nigeria. Bon pastor. Bon pastor.
You went down there. You went down there, Mr. Oaks.
Because you remember a fake pastor.
That fake pastor talking about Osimhen.
Yeah, the people told me that he was a bad pastor. So I wanted to, Mr. Roman Abramovich got the connection. People's Republic actually wanted to get me in trouble. But somebody who knows the connection just told you why I talked about the fake pastor who lied about Osimhen, and the bon pastor, like I'm saying, is the name of our women coach. So let's leave it there. People's Republic goal here is just to get me in trouble and get me canceled.
No.
All right.
Because
yes.
You know one thing about the Chelsea women. I don't know. It was like when Chelsea made team, when we have a good season, when we have we have the teams of Eden Hazard and them. We will beat every other team, but when we meet Man U, even when Man U is not in form, we find it difficult to beat Man U. Then
you're talking about
and
women?
I feel like yeah, I'm talking about I'm just bringing the men to. You see, it's about the Barcelona team. I don't know what Chelsea can do. If Chelsea, even if it's not the final, if Chelsea don't win the Champions League, if they can win the Barcelona female team, I'll be happy.
You don't beat them because it's a lot of politics and conspiracy right there. If you look at the penalties that they gave them, if you look at the red card they gave them at Stamford Bridge, never even touched the leg. She pulled off the leg out of the way immediately. It's a lot of situation. You know, it's Real Madrid and it's Barcelona. You have to be from there to win the Ballon d'Or. You have to be this to do the. It's a lot of politics and corruption behind the scenes. Like you don't need even glasses, or you don't have to be a Chelsea fan to say exactly what is happening. But that is not the topic of the day. I just want.
Mr. Oaks.
Yes.
Mr. I think it was Mr. Abramovich here mentioned a few times Hazard, and it's strange you mentioned Hazard of all people, because Hazard, another one who left his comfort zone, and what happened to him when he went to Real Madrid? He lost his discipline, he lost his motivation, only went for money, and he ended up, as you know, how he ended up, fat, out of shape, injured, I don't know, what have you, unmotivated. If Osimhen was to arrive to Chelsea only because of money, would it end up in the same way, or where is he going to find his motivation? Is he going to be in the same level? So this is the question I was going to ask the panel. Would we see the same top Osimhen from 3 years ago, or will we witness the same injured Osimhen we've seen in the last 2 years?
Brother, you see about the Osimhen issue. To me, I know Viktor Osimhen very well. He's from my country, and right from his youth days, I've seen how he plays. And the other time when I was talking on this platform with Mr. Oaks, I was asked if to choose whether Osimhen or Victor Boniface. I said I would choose Osimhen because of his kind of play. But one thing that I want you to understand is that you can't get to know people except if you get close to them. Whether it will turn up good at Chelsea, that will be when it comes to Chelsea before I can say. But to me, I believe Victor Osimhen is a very good player and is a perfect fit and the missing points for Chelsea. So to me, I think if Osimhen come and with hope, I think he will surely prove himself.
Okay, so let's conclude this Osimhen and other stuff thing. So we're gonna focus now on the Clearlake Capital, Eghbali against Todd Boehly. Everybody wanna buy everybody out, and so-called civil war is going on. But before we jump to that, I wanted to mention something else. I even forget. I lost what I was going to say. Maybe it can come back at some point. But we're gonna go around and start talking about what is happening at Chelsea right now. Ben Jacobs, let me just read this post here. Chelsea owners open to buying each other out. Okay, Clearlake wish to increase their 61.5% stake. Todd Boehly willing to pay over 2.5 billion and want more control. So he want to take the entire company. Clearlake also want to take the entire company. Strategy disagreement, including over the stadium, the new stadium, Stamford Bridge. They can't agree on anything because need 1,000 signatures to get a freaking simple decision to be made. So Todd Boehly got his own strategy with Chelsea Football Club. Clearlake, represented by Eghbali, also have their own strategy of a bunch of kids around the world and wait for long-term project. And I think for Boehly it's more balanced because he showed us when he was in charge, the first transfer window, he made a lot of mistakes. But I'm trying to make a point here. He came with the Abramovich attitude, which is go on the market, buy big names, and win. It went terribly wrong because we bought Koulibaly, we bought Sterling, we bought Aubameyang. It didn't work out. But the point, you can see what he was trying to do back then. And then Clearlake were not happy about that kind of strategy. They want to go more of long-term, more on youth and development, and probably sell them. So they don't really agree on this strategy of transfer, and the result on the pitch is not improving. Straight disagreement, including over stadium, matching and blocking right for both parties. Okay, so they are cancelling each other now. So if Stamford Bridge is not built now, if we don't see certain transfer happen, it's because they are cancelling each other. You can't do anything without another person sign for the problem to be solved. So it's becoming so complicated. And I still remember yesterday I was checking on my old videos and I found something what Jose Mourinho said. He said back in the day, the structure at Chelsea was very simple. Roman Abramovich, Peter Kenyon, and Jose Mourinho. So 3 people in charge of making decision. And Abramovich is going to let you make the decision. He's just going to sign at the end. But he let you the freedom to make decisions. Now, it's a bunch of people from Clearlake. And then Todd Boehly on his side. And then you have sporting directors and whatever scouting and whatever department, thousands of other departments that need to come together in order to make a very simple decision. So now, what team everybody is on? I'm going to go first. I am on team Roman Abramovich. That is my team. Todd Boehly, yeah, okay. But team Abramovich. Bring Abramovich back at Chelsea. Mr. Ice, I'm going to start with you. What's going on here? He's drinking today. It's weekend, man. So don't mind that Ice guy. Ice, if you are listening, anytime you want to jump, you can come and comment. People's Republic, give us your opinion about the so-called crisis at Chelsea.
I'll go second. Let somebody else start first.
Who want to go first? Everybody is avoiding.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me? Sorry about that. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Listen, it's basically the outright definition of what's called red tape, bureaucracy, and the street term, paperwork. Too much paperwork involved to get approvals. And you can tell that these clowns have no idea what they're doing up there, in my humble opinion, man. It is just too many cooks in the kitchen. Too many cooks spoil the soup. Too many kings, not enough villagers. And guess who's paying the price, ladies and gentlemen?
The team.
The team and the fans. So listen, there's no smoke without fire. If this is really true, if this is not some sort of a gimmick, a media gimmick, just to get more eyes watching Chelsea, if this is not a media gimmick, if this is for real, then no wonder we're shit. No wonder the team is all over the place. No wonder there's no organization. Even our scouting is suspect.
Go ahead. Talking about scouting, I want to back what you're saying. I'm not trying to contradict you here. There are so many reports coming, like Eghbali is the guy who flew immediately, like when he heard about Mikhailo Mudryk, and then he took a private jet to go to Turkey where they were having like their preseason or something, and say that I'm not living here without Mudryk, without doing like the groundwork. I think it was just political, and it was because Arsenal are going for him, and Arsenal already offered 80 million, and then we have to go and hijack him. And because of the situation between Russia and Ukraine, they wanted to break away completely, totally. We don't care about that Russian guy, billionaire. This is our way of showing that we are with Ukraine, kind of. So I'm just reading it online here.
No, but
the day of Mudryk hijack, Eghbali called Shakhtar CEO Mr. Parkins to say, "I'm here." Parkin replied, "What do you mean here?" Eghbali said, "I had already checked into Shakhtar's team hotel after flying over by my private jet." So I'm just reading what is happening.
That is for me, that's noise. That's not relevant. That is not relevant. What is relevant right now is how the administration of this institution is unraveling before our eyes. What you're talking about is noise. That's back-end noise. And I know what you're trying to say, that there's that maybe Eghbali had his own strategy of going after scouting, and then maybe Todd Boehly. What I suspect is probably Todd Boehly he was looking at some talent, and he had to go through Eghbali to get approval. And these are egos, these are billionaires. You understand? The most important thing right now is to sort out the leadership at the top. I heard Todd Boehly and his team have 30%, or is it 40%? Eghbali and his group have 60%. So what is going on? What is going on within the administration of this institution, ladies and gentlemen? Somebody please help me. Please explain to me.
What I will say about this issue is that some people shouldn't use my team as a weapon against each other, because I think one of the problems Chelsea is facing now is because of their politics. I'm the one who have to be there, I'm the one who have to be there, I'm the one who have to be, which is affecting the team. Technically is affecting the team in one way or the other. So I think, I don't know how if this can possible, if they both, if whether Todd Boehly and who is it called, whether two of them can find a way to go and sort themselves outside the team. They should just leave the team alone to do their things and sort out each other outside, behind a closed door, and it shouldn't affect the team. I think that would be the best. But their issue, I'm the one who have to do this, I'm the one who have to do. I think both of them should find someone. Like it should be like a company, like a co-owned company, that is handing over to someone to operate. Whether you are the billionaire, you have this, you have that. That person will be the one to decide when it comes to the team. But when it comes to the share, maybe the income or whatever, I think they can share it with each other like that. But if both of them are to decide who to sign, who to decide who this, it will always be affecting the team. So I think if they can get a third partner, like a company always have a manager, or I think they should get someone who will be in the midst of that, the one that will be controlling the team. The person might not have share in the team, but that will be the person who will be having the decision taking when it comes to the team. But when it comes to their share, I think they should do it behind the closed door so that it won't affect the team.
Okay,
that is my own opinion.
Mr. Sadiq, very quickly, and we're gonna go to say hi to Victor.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hawk. Do you know my contribution on this? I have to say it. Todd Boehly and Eghbali, they should settle between themselves and let Chelsea Football Club be where it's supposed to be. They bring us down because of their issues, like what people are saying now. I don't want them to use their own situation to make Chelsea go down. That is my contribution. We don't need to be just saying it and it will not be active. I think, I don't know, maybe you understand me. They should settle themselves and let Chelsea be at the top there as their male takes. So that is my contribution on that, Mr. House. Thank you.
Mr. Victor.
Hello, awesome. Thank you for the opportunity. I just look at our club, and this is going to be my personal take on this. I just look at our club, and I'm like, since 2021, when we won the championship, which is a good old 3 years, we've not really had any real good news. Even when we are signing players, over £100 million here and there, we still felt like squares in round holes, because we were not really solving the problems the way we need to solve them. Because the good old attitude of throwing money at a problem is what we were used to doing, putting lipstick on a pig system. So you have to really think about that. And even prior to our winning, we all knew that the club was facing some serious headwinds. And that was prior to 2021. And so since the Abramovich era, when we had these players that took us to the glory, to the mountaintop, and make Chelsea the juggernaut of a club it has become worldwide, the fans have been subjected. Either it is the doing of ownership, of political instability, geopolitical issues, or it is the players that are taking us out there and whipping us out and actually exposing the club, be it from the players themselves doing things that are unworthy or untoward, or the ownership changing hands. Now, if you are not necessarily a sovereign fund, like if you don't own a whole, oil refinery in Qatar or Saudi Arabia or elsewhere, single ownership in this, Premiership, Premier League is very hard because of how expensive and how difficult, how financially elevated these clubs have become. It's billions and billions of pounds. So you need a consortium, which is what Chelsea did, and several other clubs in the Premiership has done that. But there has to be a complete harmony and a great working relationship between the entities or the shareholders. And right now, it doesn't look like it. And they are washing their dirty linen outside, and it's affecting the club, as it's already been said on this forum. And there's not a day that goes by. Even this weekend is an international break, and Chelsea is saddled with news. At some point, the news become a little overbearing. It gets to a point where it is just drip, 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 and it gets to a point where even the fan base cannot defend it anymore. And I think it has to the ownership has to sit down and really sort these things out, because it's beginning to be a bit much to be a Chelsea fan worldwide. It's affecting all of us. You never turn on your phone on any of these devices, and Chelsea has some good news. This morning, our women walking this Feyenoord team was the only positive. I'm like, wow, we're actually banging in goals, something positive for a change for Chelsea. So we have to, our fan base, if the word, can get to them from wherever we are on the face of the planet, has to really continue to shout out loud that this is affecting all of us in a negative way, and it needs to be sorted out. And not to break record of, repeating myself, the one that has the less share in the coming together of the fans to purchase Chelsea, which is Todd Boehly, right? I understand. But interestingly, he was the face when the actual acquisition was made. So he doesn't feel like he needs to have any influence. He doesn't feel like he needs to be out there. He may have even evaluated the club. It is not worth it, what it is right now. He needs to take time, and they are under contract for 10 years before they can even think about selling the club. So they don't even foresee any real benefit. And if they look at the numbers, it's not necessarily pleasing, especially when you populate the club with so many players that you have to pay every single week. So internally, there must be some financial quibbles and problems that they have to deal with. And then, of course, outside, there's all these imagery issues that we are having. And I may be wrong. People can come on here and challenge me. But if you have all of these headwinds, you are heading towards the cliff. And it's about time that Chelsea sort these things out. Otherwise, it will affect the play. And when it affects the play and they don't perform, nobody will blame the players. Because everybody will blame them at least to a point and say, look at what is happening behind the scenes. No wonder the performance has suffered. And it will continue to bring the entire image and grandeur and I will say value of the club down. And Chelsea will no longer be Chelsea in 3, 4, 5 years, because to solve all these problems means you have to let some things go, and you will not be part of the elite anymore. So that is what I think is going on, and we need to address that ASAP.
Yeah, brother, I understand everything you said. My own opinion is that what I think that they can do, we can have our differences while working together. Like, maybe I may not like you, you may not like me, but we own the same thing. Okay, what if we handle it over to someone? This is the amount the team needs for the year, like running a company. This is the amount. This is my own percentage of the share that I should put in, and this is your own amount. And we hand it over to the person. Whatever decision the person make, that will be about the team. So we will sort out. If I want to buy your own share, we'll discuss that one behind. You understand me? Which will not affect the team, because they doing this now, and they will started playing game of, okay, I want this player, I don't want this. I want this player, you don't want it. I don't. That one is the one I want, and you don't want. So it will always affect the team, both the players, the club, and even with the fans. I think the fans will also have to do something about this. If not, our teams will go down to where we won't expect.
Yes, Aziz.
No, okay, I was going to say something. Okay.
Hey, hello, Mr. Oz. How you doing?
Yeah, we are.
Bonjour to the panel too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was listening to what you guys were talking about. I remember telling you this, Mr. Oz, this like 2 years ago. I don't see this partnership working. I was given an example some years ago. It reminds me of when Arsenal. Remember when Arsenal had these two board leaders? They were not getting along.
Yeah.
Oh, I've forgotten their name. The owner and the one that went to AC Milan. I can't remember their name.
Yeah, I forgot them.
Conque and the other guy.
Yeah,
they
they
were
have
not getting.
Osnov also who had some shares in the company.
Yeah, they were. So the guy
Russian
was forced to sell his shares to Conque because they were not getting along. Because you can't have two captains. Before the way this can work is you guys have to be 100% in terms of decision making. This is what we want. Same mind, same talk. You can't have two masters in a ship. It's never going to work. I'm going to remind you guys back when Todd Boehly was backing Pochettino. You remember one of the interviews he did in the last days of the season? How that the team has already improved. We're thinking of Pochettino he has already taken us to the Europa League. He's taking us to Europa League or some stuff like that. All of a sudden, Eghbali was the one that made decision to fire Pochettino, not Todd Boehly.
Yeah.
Some of these signings, I heard some rumors saying that Todd Boehly wanted some experience in the team. Eghbali was the one calling the shots, that he wants some younger players, which Todd Boehly was trying to tell him that younger players are not going to win you the league. So these are rumors I'm hearing, allegedly. We don't know what's true and what's not true, but allegedly.
Yes, sir. That's what we all hear. And Osimhen just scored for Nigeria.
That's what I was about to say. Osimhen 3-0.
And now it's going to be trending. At least we can focus on talking about Osimhen one more time. and forget about the disaster, the club. Oh, why didn't buy him and all that? Yeah, it's gonna be back and forth like this. But
One more thing, Mr. Oz. Osimhen has already done an interview with one of the sports people in Nigeria. He talked about the transfer that happened. I actually watched the video, what the guy was saying. He's one of the journalists in Nigeria. He said he called in Osimhen and interviewed him. He said it was Napoli that frustrated him. Napoli were the one that frustrated him. He said that in summer, the Saudi Arabia club team have already contacted him. They've already agreed on price. It was Napoli on the dime minute tried to squeeze money out of those Saudi Arabia team. Osimhen said he wanted to pay 5 million out of the money Saudi Arabia out of the money these people wanted. That he was willing to take out 5 million from his salary. Napoli wanted more. And that was when Chelsea came in. Chelsea wanted to take advantage of what was going on.
Yeah, but at least Chelsea tried.
Is it true he fired his agent, Osimhen?
Yeah, fired his agent. Because you can't be an agent, be giving bad advices. It was the agent that advised him to sign the contract when he was on top, thinking that, they will have a negotiating this thing so that they will be able to power. It was a 50-50 gamble. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
You must have a very good agent, like all these big boy agents. They can negotiate for you, but not.
I think he might go to George Mendes or something.
Yeah, because they would have sorted that deal out. So right now, it wasn't Osimhen. Let us not say Osimhen was greedy. Obviously, he wanted to feed his family. Quite all right. He had already agreed at 30 million every year with the Saudi Arabia team, but Napoli wanted to.
And that's why I said that pointing fingers on Chelsea for not trying or not paying him 30 million or paying him whatever he wanted is kind of contradicting, and also it doesn't make any sense, because you can break the bank like that. You're gonna put yourself in trouble after getting rid of Lukaku and Raheem Sterling, and you go
And
there.
he said one other thing. Conte wanted him to stay, but he said he spoke with Conte. He said his mind was no more in Napoli after the racists and calling him coconut head and everything. He said his mind wasn't there no more. That Conte begged him to stay. So Napoli used the advantage by saying that Conte never wanted Osimhen. Said that was a lie. That Conte called him. He wanted to play Lukaku and Osimhen together.
Yeah, that was going to be quite deadly, but it is what it is. So Osimhen just scored for Nigeria. Hopefully he can have a great season. Fingers crossed he stayed fit, because fitness was an issue for the last 2 years. If he can have yes, Mr. People.
What I think about the Osimhen transfer is, to me, I'm still suspecting Chelsea is still gonna get him, probably by January, because what I realized was that I think Chelsea are trying to. They don't want to spend much. They are trying to either from the the transfer fee, and they will give him how much he wants as a salary, or to pay the transfer fee and reduce the salary. Chelsea want to do one of the two. But with Osimhen going to Galatasaray on loan, and this contract state that if any big teams came in January, is free to go. And from the amount, the transfer, the transfer value of 130 to 70 million. I think if by January, I think Osimhen want to come to Chelsea. To me, that is what I think. Because
sorry to cut you off. Napoli has reduced the transfer fee to 60 million now.
Okay, so that is what I'm trying to say is that I think with him giving them that condition, so that they can allow him to go and earn his salary, as you understand me, so that he can earn his salary, while the transfer fee will be a little bit. So I think that is what they are trying to. That is my own observation. I don't know whether that is it, but that is what I think is there. So I think maybe probably by January, if Osimhen perform well, I think Chelsea can go for him and will surely get him.
Yeah. Mr. People's Republic, yes, go on.
What has happened there is that Napoli hasn't looked to the future and what was going to happen on all these new financial fair play, salary caps, and what have you, which are coming into play next season. So if you notice, the size of the figure, the amounts being paid for transfers, even the wages being paid for players have dropped drastically. We've noticed, if you saw the last transfer window, there was no really big, there were signings, yes, transfers, but there was no big transfer fees paid because the teams know. You take a look at Liverpool. They've got 3 big players: Arnold, the goalkeeper, that was his name, and Salah. They all got to be paid. None of them have been offered new contracts. Why? Because they got to balance the books. If they give Salah 400,000, that means they're going to have to sacrifice some players so they can balance the books. So the same thing with the Chelsea. Chelsea was not unwilling to pay whatever ridiculous wages Osimhen wanted, and they were definitely not going to pay that transfer figure because why? What would be the point? Only people can afford these wages are Saudi, but then your football legacy and all that. So as a young person, you want your reputation, your image, and what have you, and all that. So anyway, so that is why Chelsea played the hard game, and Napoli, they shot themselves in the foot. They should have sold them last year for that 100 million or whatever it was, the price there. But they got greedy and
Victor Osimhen, nobody can call him greedy. The brother worked
Napoli. I said Napoli, not Osimhen.
Yeah,
hey, yes. I want to say one more thing, please. I want to say one more thing before I forget. In the interview, he said Chelsea offered him 120,000. He said, okay, out of the 120,000, I have to pay the tax. That's 60%, 50% of the 120,000. I still have to pay another 40%, 40% to the Premiership stuff. So how much do I have left? So now I kind of understand where these players are coming from. Why am I doing this where I'm paying half of my salary to the government?
But that's what I said. But that is a country you work in. That's the conditions. You know what I mean? If you're going to go to Saudi, you're going to pay no tax. God bless you.
And that's why I said nobody can call Osimhen or point fingers on him because any of us, even me, I would do the same thing. Let's not pretend that we are perfect here and we move to clap for the love of the shirt or Didier Drogba was my idol or not. You make your own life. You do what is good for you and your family. That's the end of it. And also, Chelsea shouldn't be called all kind of names here. Lack of ambition. They didn't try hard enough. You have to break the bank because Chelsea also were looking after their own interest. They wanted to come to the conversation and take advantage of the conversation and then give, this is our offer. You don't like it? It's okay. But don't force Chelsea to start fighting with Saudi and fighting with Napoli because our problems were going to be solved because of Osimhen. That's why I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt here. Napoli, they want their money. They bought Osimhen for 80 million. 80 million. So they want their money. They want to get as much as they can. Chelsea Football Club are trying to get him as cheap as they can. Saudi came with crazy money, and Osimhen had the right, every single right, to take the bag and move on. He has nothing to prove to anybody on the planet. He can go and play in whatever country he wants. If the money is good and he enjoys over there, give him credit. He agreed with PSG. Napoli made it so complicated and impossible. Now he agreed with Saudi. Nobody has to point fingers on the brother. And don't pretend, oh, we love Chelsea. I always tell people here, if I work at Chelsea Football Club and they don't pay the money, they don't pay good money, I'm struggling with the kids, school, paying my car and house, and Tottenham Hotspurs give me a job in their office and they're paying me 10 times the money that Chelsea were giving me. I'm telling you right now on the camera, I'm going to work for Tottenham being a Chelsea fan. I'm going to work in their shop so I can feed my family, because Chelsea are not giving me what I can feed my family. It's about personal interest. That is not going to take away from the fact that you are a Chelsea fan, you're just working for Tottenham Hotspurs. That's the way it is. Nobody's going to pretend on camera and say, oh, no, you are not a Chelsea, you have to take a price cut. No, come on, forget about those crap, man.
In the same breath, if Daniel Levy said to you, Mr. Oakes, I'm going to pay you 50K a week and take it or leave it. So you can't say to Todd, to Daniel Levy, you say, no, but I want 100K. Levy will say to you, but you know, my offer is 50K. If you want it, take it. If
you don't want it, you leave it. And I will leave it if I don't like it.
You're going to find somewhere else.
It's business the end of the day, my brother. Football is business. We don't work always in the company that we support or we love. I used to work for University of Kentucky, and I was in Louisville University. We hate each other, college basketball. We got physical here, right? But I got a scholarship there. I got some advantage for 6 months, make some money, and do some work over there. And I work there, even if I hate you. What the hell? What's wrong with that? So people don't point fingers on Osimhen. He has the right to get the bag. Get the bag and run, brother. Get the bag.
But he won't get the bag at Chelsea, is all we know.
Yeah, he won't get. That is normal. But I'm not going to just point fingers on Chelsea. Why you didn't break the bank and you don't have ambition? No, our ambition is there. You want to get to the structure that we pay people? Good. Exactly. You don't want it? Goodbye. We love you, brother. See you later. That's it.
No, the structure is that they want to balance the books. They want to have a more sensible, reasonable budget. This is why they give people 8-year contracts, is so that the money is spread out over 8 years, not just in one. Every year you're struggling with FFP. So this is Chelsea showing the way for other clubs. This is how you do it. And if Osimhen can't fit or can't accept the conditions, terms and conditions, then Chelsea should not be forced to break the bank and to destroy their wage structure just to suit one player. No one player is bigger than in any club. The club is always bigger than the player. So if these are the guidelines of the structure, what Chelsea want, the new owners want, and because they want to balance their books and what have you, financial regulations, that is their choice. Nobody can force. Say, okay, you got to pay
here. Like my point is, all parties here, you shouldn't be pointing fingers. You work for what is good for you, for your club, for your interest. I don't believe that Viktor Osimhen was the missing piece that we're going to score 100 goals and we're never going to miss a chance, because people always try to point. Look at Jackson. Yes, I know. He's one of the reasons we struggled last season, but he's also one of the reasons why we did good. So you see both ways. He scored a lot of goals. He misses a lot of goals in very, very key games that we could have even won trophies. But I see both ways. But telling me that Viktor Osimhen is the only missing piece that we're going to come to Chelsea, kill it, and Chelsea don't have ambition, break the bank, fight with Saudi, pay whatever it takes to get him. I am not one of those people. I always balance things. You accept our conditions, we push a little bit. And what people don't understand, what people try not to talk about because it's not going to fit their narrative, is Chelsea offered 1 year loan. 1 year loan with exact salary or even more salary. For 1 year, we can pay you the money that you are at at Napoli. But if we have to put obligation to buy, or we have to buy you permanently, we have to go to the structure. So it was 2 contracts there. One for loan that he refused and his agent refused. The same money, not like less money. But people don't want to talk about it because it doesn't fit the narrative. They just want to push the fact that, oh, they disrespected him. They gave him 150 or whatever amount people are trying to make on social media to make their cases. If you go to the details of that amount, you will see that it wasn't that way. People are making up numbers. But one season, brother, we pay you 11 million, but we're not going to pay you this money for 7 years. Let's negotiate another structure if we have to pay you, if we have to buy you permanently. You refuse, and now he's on loan. He's on loan for the same exact condition that he refused. So why are you going to point fingers only on Chelsea for disrespecting him without mentioning the other part of the story? Why people try to hide that part of story? Because it doesn't fit the narrative.
But if it goes back to...
I think his agent was a problem on that, because if Osimhen were to, if you were to fire this agent after everything, I think there is some misunderstanding between both of them. Maybe the agent was thinking he's doing the right thing, which is not, and which make everything look like that. If the agent were to be reasonable enough, I think maybe it should probably be loaned to Chelsea.
You pointing the point. You
To be honest, the problem was from the club side, Napoli, and the agents. Because if I'm representing you, I'm going to look for all the best interests for you, whereby you're going to put a stipulation in the contract I'm signing. This is the amount I want to leave.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, you put Napoli in a dicey situation. If I'm signing this new contract with you, this is the amount I want to leave. 80 million or 70 million. Beat it or not, or I'm not signing. I guess the agent was looking at his own pockets, like, oh, this is the amount Osimhen will get, this is the amount I'll get. You understand? But was not looking after Osimhen, was looking after himself.
Yeah,
I think so.
Osimhen was supposed to have left Napoli when he was at the height of his power. When he won league with Napoli, he was commanding figures that would have been likened to the ones that Holland and the rest are getting in the UK right now. He should have done that then. And then he went ahead, and at that time he was also having some serious issues with the Napoli fans or the power structure there. So it behooves me why he stayed. I don't understand why he stayed, because when they restructured his contract and they gave him another contract, he says take-home money at the end of the week wasn't necessarily vastly improved, especially in pounds term, because it was being paid in euros there. So for me, I feel like people who are questioning his agent has some kind of a story to stand on, because of the simple reason that he's making questionable decisions all along. At this level in a professional game, you should make sound decisions, and almost all the very good players, especially strikers, because strikers are hard to find. You barely can count the best strikers in the world on one hand necessarily. So if you are considered amongst one of them, those folks barely make mistakes like this. And the leagues that you can go to and improve even on the image that you already have. And wallowing around in Napoli when there were signs that folks don't like you there, and re-signing a contract meant that decisions were being made, as I have said already. And fast forward to what was just done a week ago. He wanted to hold out for more, clearly. And he has an agent, that same agent that told him that when you were at your heights last year, they could have gone for more money, hold out for even more money. It's the same agent that is probably whispering in his ear and telling him, if you hold out right now, Chelsea is in desperate need. Nicolas can score. They will turn around and come and give you what you want. So I think that when he saw us really go back there, negotiate, it didn't work out, and we went back into our private jet and flew away, he realized that at some point, even Chelsea, which is known for making these horrible decisions financially for their players, have come to terms with the fact that they are not going to do that anymore. So, it gets to a point where it is already too late. He's learning his lesson, hopefully, or maybe we all don't know. Maybe he wanted to go to Turkey anyway, but I have my doubts. If when the year started, Osimhen was like, okay, yeah, I will end up at Galatasaray when all is said and done. There's no way. So, these things sometimes happen for himself to make lessons out of it, or for some other folks to learn from him. That sometimes you should be able to tell that Chelsea have come to a point right now where our pay structure is being really looked at because of the just sheer amount of players that we have. And even the teams that are around us, the big six, none of them are going to go out there and buy these kinds of players anymore, because all of them are really scared of how much money we spend day in and day out in these windows. So I hope that when as he stays out there, he learns his lesson, and hope that he puts a little bit of humility in the way he does his thing. It's a shame, but sometimes that's what is needed for you to get to what you want. Maybe you need to take a step back and take what you are given, because in England, all you have to do is come and bang in a few goals, and your value catapults up there. And anybody, if we want you to stay, then you become the one telling us how much we should pay you. And if you want to move on to Liverpool, to United or elsewhere, you are the one that is commanding that. But to be wallowing in Galatasaray, I don't know.
Yeah, that's very understandable case you're making here. Guys, so we're going to go around and ask you what team you are in before we leave. I might come back tonight, though. I'm not going to promise anything because People's Republic is going to kill me. Oh, why you didn't come off? Because I have a blue army here who destroy everything. Okay? Like, I depend on many, many, many factors. I might say I will come back, but something happened and there are priorities in life. And I have to pay bills. What's wrong with you? I have to walk. Anyways, let's go. Mr. Official Olamide, what do you think? What team you are in? Team Boehly or Team Clearlake / Eghbali? And why? I don't want you to bring Roman Abramovich because I already say that. We have to be honest that he's not coming back. I was just joking, but realistically, and tell us why you choose one camp and not the other one. And then we're going to go around and say goodbye. We're going to be back tonight, probably at some point. Allegedly, and probably need to be applied here because People's Republic, that guy. He doesn't forget anything. Yeah, go.
Okay. To me, I haven't been convinced with any of them. I haven't been convinced. But if I were to choose, at least, okay, maybe the bed at hand is better than the one that you haven't captured. So I'll say, okay, then I'll prefer Todd Boehly, but in a different manner, which like the signing of players. Like, it should be the way Abramovich used to do. Okay, you go and get a player, then let me do the payment. It's not like, okay, I will be the one going for the player, and this is the player I want. Take the money, go and bring the player. You understand me? I'll prefer Todd Boehly because all this bunch of kids will send us to where Arsenal were back in the days, and which I don't want to experience that. So I think Todd Boehly will be more preferable.
Okay, Todd Boehly, because you want to bring Abramovich-esque kind of management at Chelsea and not kindergarten project. Anything else you want to add, my brother, and say goodbye to people? I will see you next weekend. You know what? The Premier League is back, so we can take our attention away from this disaster and focus on the pitch, because we are going to destroy Bournemouth. Bournemouth, watch out. We are coming for you. Go.
Brother, as for Chelsea right now, is a 50-50 feelings for me.
Okay.
I have the feelings that we're gonna, but even when we won the 6-0 against Wolves, I said, I said we can't use one match to decide the rest of the season, which happened against what is it called? This team we played last, was it Crystal Palace? So I have the feelings that we could win the game, and it can also happen as it used to, because I haven't seen the problem solved. So until if the game is being played, but positive vibe, I want us to win and take the all 3 points.
Okay.
So that's it.
All right, my brother. Listen, come back tonight. If there is a big if here, if you see me, you stop and say goodbye. Who knows? Probably we're gonna sell the club to Saudi or something. You never know. Chelsea is the only club providing people with news this international boring break. It's like every day we have something to talk about Chelsea. So it's only Chelsea. Who wanna go next? Peoples.
So you asked me, Camp Boehly or Camp Clearwater?
Yes, Clearlake.
Definitely Clearlake. Excuse me. Boehly, he's got to go. This guy is Mr. Minority Shareholder, 15% or whatever it is. This guy has made some serious and grave errors. Now, he came in there all singing and dancing. Chelsea, when a government changes hands in any country in the world, whether it's Africa, Europe, whatever it is, when you come into power, you don't fire the whole civil service. You don't fire every single person who runs the government. You come in there slowly, humbly. You look what's around you. You learn a little bit, and then you make your changes gradually, slowly but surely. But you don't just come there and fire the whole damn thing, and then expect that from day one everything's going to function perfectly because you know everything. No, you don't know everything. Sometimes it's good to be humble. Sometimes it's to keep the infrastructure you have in place until you find your feet, find your way, and then you can make your changes. So Boehly came in there all singing and dancing, fired everybody. So now we're going to do it my way or the highway, and left us in completely, utterly disarray. And then on top of that, he goes and trusts Thomas Tuchel to make all the ridiculous signings, which just completely nonsense. Even worse, because all the hype, because this guy he got high on the media hype. So the media was really profiling and styling and profiling this guy, really putting him in the center of things. And sometimes you can get drunk on that attention, on that I don't know what you want to call it. And he probably couldn't get enough of that attention. And every time he bought a player,
allegedly, that is your theory, right?
Every time he overpaid for a player. And I mean, these other clubs are all laughing. So I can Chelsea pay 100 million for this and 100 million for that and what have you. And not because he had fired the people who were there, who normally would do these transfers, who normally will pay a more sustainable amount of money. They had been gone. So he was basically doing everything on his own hand there. And now the 60 whatever percent majority Clearlake owners said, no, we better stop this guy. This guy is destroying our club. This guy is destroying the economy of our club. They took the steering wheel out of his car, and now he's sitting there crying. He wants to but where's my car? Where's my new shiny toy? There. So no, we've stopped you, and they've amputated his legs or whatever, and he can no longer. This is why these Clearlake people say no. We want a wage structure. We want to pay more reasonable transfer fees. So they've stopped Todd Boehly, and Todd Boehly is basically a dead man walking. He may as well just sell his shares, and it's too many cooks. 3 different owners or what have you. They all have their own egos, their own agendas, their own ideas. It can never function. There's just too many egos there. So you better just have one guy, one philosophy which came in there, buy all these big name players, pay ridiculous money, then the other people take over and say, no, we want a long-term structure, we want all these young players with no names, whatever, you will build a future. And the way things are, the shambles and disarray, which we have at the moment, something's got to give. Somebody, either Boehly buys them out, and then we go down his path, or we go back down to more organic, more sustainable, more long-term path with the 60% Clearlake people there. But the way it is now, it is definitely unsustainable, and it something's going to break. Something's got to give, one way or the other. So whether Boehly stays and buys the other guys out, or they buy him out, and then he goes and do his thing somewhere else, at least he's made a big profit out of it. Probably that is what his whole intention was, is to make money out of this. So this is probably why he's going 3 years and he's a total failure, but at least he's made money out of it, and he will come out smelling of roses the other end. And yeah, this is how I looked at it. So Boehly's definitely going to go. He can take the other guy with him as well. What's his name? What's the other guy? What's the other one? What's the other guy's name?
What, from Clearlake? Eghbali?
Yeah, Eghbali. You can take Eghbali with him as well. They can both hold each other.
It can't happen. Eghbali is representing Clearlake, who got the majority share at Chelsea. Yeah, so Clearlake is like an empire of people. It's so many people in the Clearlake, but they put him as the face of Clearlake to represent them. It doesn't mean necessarily that he's a billionaire. He's just a smart guy that is like managing their fund. Does that make sense? So he's taking decision, and it's not him taking decision. It's like so many people behind him, but they can't like have everybody there. So they say, I think the other guy is Felicia and Eghbali are the people that they put in front, but it's an army of people behind them. So it is what it is, my brother. So your choice is clear. It looks like you're going for Clearlake and kick Todd Boehly out. All right.
Definitely, for sure.
So, I'll see you tonight if you have time, or if I have time. Yes. Don't quote me on anything. Don't ask questions, because I have to pay my bills. All right?
Yes. Okay, no problems. No worries. God bless.
God bless. Who goes next? Mr. Victor. Yes, sir. Team Boehly or Team Clearlake?
Yeah, I might just shock you by going for Team Chelsea.
Yeah, that is a good choice. Yeah,
I think it might be more of a cliche here, but I feel like if they have the team, the club, the club's interest at heart, they should bury those differences. Even if they are going to do something drastic, they should do it behind closed doors.
Yeah,
the thing is, that's what you do as part of a leadership. Buying a club, probably more than I do. Like, if you buy a club in one of the most famous leagues in the world, in one of the most famous cities in the world, in London, it has a profile that you want to keep. You want to be associated with that. That's why Todd Boehly and his consortium jumped all in and tried to make sure that they established themselves wide in Europe as well. We haven't conquered a lot of the US market when it comes to sports acquisition. So I feel club acquisition. So I feel like none of them really want to give it up. But for this kind of rift to leak into the media like that is not good for the club. So they should bury the hatchet here. They should really try and think of the best interest of the club and what have to do. Do what they have to do to make sure that we already have enough problems, as it were. So if you could do enough to really make sure the two entities, or if they are multiple, really sit down and see what is best for the club and let things cool off a little bit. Even if they are, serious underlying rifts, you could just wait until there is evidence of a recover from this quagmire that we find ourselves in when it comes to our playing on the.
Yes, hello. Mr. Victor is gone. Yeah,
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I have to wrap it up soon, so you can go and attend to the Blue Army. So,
yes, sir.
That's what I'm hoping happens. It's very, very, very important because, like you said, even on a quiet weekend, Chelsea still give the grapevine something to talk about, and it's not good. So they should sort it out quickly. Even if they want to buy one entity want to buy off the other, do it discreetly. And I know those kinds of things cannot be done discreetly because it's such a big club. You can't just do that. But whatever the case is, they should do whatever they can to make sure that the fans have something to rally around and laugh about come this, next weekend. So I hope that is the case, because for me, I don't see either of them, and this will be my last point, I don't see either of them really getting out of this looking like they are the better one. They all made decisions in the beginning on what to do, and partnerships atrophy every now and then. It happens all the time. People who are in business all of a sudden don't see eye to eye, and they have to just take their losses and leave. But if that's the case, sometimes married people stay together in the marriage just for the sake of the child. And when the child gets to be 18 years old, then they find a way, they find a way to separate, because at that time the child can even live on their own. So they should treat Chelsea like that. They just bought this thing, it's a toddler, it is still not even getting up and walking yet. They should stay together, make sure that the child is old enough to be on their own, or at least separate in such a way that doesn't affect the child at all.
Yeah.
Especially if both of them have the child's interest at hand. I'll see you again when you come back online.
Yes, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. God bless. Aziz, close the shop. We are out here.
To be honest, I don't even know who to choose between Todd Boehly or Clearlake, because they've all messed up Chelsea with
Big
their
time.
decision making. And the biggest mistake Todd Boehly ever did was sacking Thomas Tuchel. That was his biggest mistake he ever
But
did.
not him only, though. Like
but
as we discover now, it's a problem from above. He can't say Thomas Tuchel out. Like Todd Boehly was blamed back then because he was the face of Chelsea, but he doesn't make decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So, but the biggest mistake they did was letting Thomas Tuchel go. You needed somebody that could manage the team, which we don't have. Since Thomas Tuchel left, you've noticed we've been going down the hill. And right now, to be honest, they need to build a unity back together so that it doesn't affect the team. Because one, if there's no unity among the two of them, and the team is start messing up, guess who they're going to take the blame? Guess who's going to get the fall for both of their mistakes? Enzo Maresca.
Yeah.
He's going to be the fall man. So, like I said, let them create a unity among each other so that it doesn't affect the team. It doesn't, so we can know where we're going. Right now, for the past 3-4 years now, I just don't know. I don't, because right now I don't have an affection for these new owners. No connection. I don't have no connection for them. If any of them want to leave, they can leave. We need new owners that are ready to help this team. New owners that are ready to fight for this team, to put us back where we are. That's all I have to say for today.
Yes, my brother. Thank you so much. Get some rest. It's the weekend, and come back tonight if I have time, of course. Everybody in the chat, God bless you. You guys are amazing. Please, on your way out, smash that like button. It doesn't cost us anything, my friend. It's gonna take you just 1 second to do it, and I will see you. I'm back slowly and surely. Stay tuned, and also watch some more videos on the Green Turf YouTube channel, GFC YouTube channel. I always try to post something there. YouTube is not recommending anything to anybody right now, so you have to double check every day if I posted something. God bless, and I'll see you next time.